just America's card room. We're the world's card room. A place where everyone comes together to play the game we all love. We are all unique, all competitive, and all striving to be the best. But at the end of the day, through thick and thin, we are all in together.
We know we keep saying this, but the biggest Venom of all time is almost here. Yep, the $8 million Venom tourney gets underway on Friday, January 22nd with a massive $8 million guaranteed prize pool, our biggest ever. Following our recent gigantic Venom PKO and 3 Hold'em Venoms that came before it, the $8 million Venom is your chance to kick off the year with millionaire status. That's right, first place gets at least $1 million, guaranteed. Want in? Then buy your $2,650 seat right now for this multi-day tourney featuring 4 day-one flights. Or get in through Steps, Skips, Venom Blitz Steps, Megas, and our epic Venom Fever. There's nothing like the Venom, and that's especially true in 2021 with 4 editions set to hit the schedule. Are you in? There's no better time to rope off your seat than right now. Join us, winningpokernetwork.com.
From the Lodge Poker Club in beautiful Round Rock, Texas, welcome to Poker Night at the Lodge. My name is Rick Epstein, along with my partner each and every week, Mike the Skull Raceman. Mike, are you ready to go for this?
Rick, what's going on? 2021 off to a blazing hot start as we get going with our 5-5 uncapped, no-limit hold'em. We've got some new players at the table tonight, as always, and some familiar faces. I'm excited to get it started.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. And Mike, what do we got going tonight? You are the ambassador of putting big card games together. What do we got going tonight?
I do what I can, Rick. We know the action. We got the action players always here at the Lodge. But we are playing 5-5 no-limit Texas Hold'em. And just like last week, we have a couple new players in the mix here at seat 4 and I believe seat 6. You might see them on some other streams in town, but they're mixing it up here at the Lodge. We're going to try to expand our screen here in the studio, which would be great.
And we got a special guest star in helping Dave Klaproth out tonight, the executive producer, the one and only Joe, the big man. The big man came in sitting down with us tonight.
Joe S. filling in, coming in strong on the cameras, on the 1s and 2s. We appreciate all the help we can receive.
It's his night off, and he's in street clothes. I almost didn't recognize him without his blue shirt on.
That's okay. He's looking sharp. Still looking sharp without the blue Smurf shirt.
So we're going to get it started here. Mike, tell us who's sitting where.
So, let's see what we got here. We got Ron C1. He's plays a little bit. I think he's from the Korean Arthur Heights area. Big Tony, you might be familiar with him from last week's stream. A late fill-in for Cole, who went deep into the tournament. So we got a long reserve list as well. Justice, C3, a new player, mixing it up here. He's been coming to the Lodge a lot lately. Wanted to get in on the action. We said, by all means, come on down, test your luck, run good. Seat 4 is E, a big player in town. You can follow him on Instagram too. He's got quite the following on Instagram. Seat 5 will be Sasha, who played last week, who's going to be here in a couple minutes, running a little late. Seat 6 is Jaywin, also plays around town. Nice, strong player, plays 2-5, 5-5, not afraid to mix it up. Seat 7 is Joe, who we've seen on numerous episodes prior. Seat 8 will be my boy Jake Stein, back in the mix tonight. And seat 9 will be Killer K Kayam, fresh out of quarantine. I know he's been taking COVID very seriously, as we all should, and he hasn't been out much, but we're happy to see him back at the Lodge. And we have our first hand of the night, so let's get started. Here we go, right on time.
9-10-4 Rainbow.
Kevin in the box.
For better dealers.
Much better than you, Rick.
Absolutely.
We gotta always rip on Rick when we can here in the booth.
Although I gotta be happy right now. I booked my first win today in
there you
about
go.
a month, so I'm not as big as you have.
Had a nice day here on the felt. A couple hours, running good, running hot, picking the right spots. Crucial.
Five of hearts.
22 people in the chat. Thanks for joining us as always. Each week we're getting larger and larger. That's what we love to see. If you're new in the chat, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be here every Saturday.
That'll get shipped
over to Tony's way.
Tony was with us last week. He's a big action player.
Yeah.
Oops. Chip count, you see that a couple players, the biggest chip stack is 5,000 E. Then you got a couple in the 2,000 range, 3 of them in the 2,000 range. In a typical game like this, would you buy in for the big stack? What would you do, Mike?
It's player dependent. You know, it's how you're feeling. You know, how your mind is right. You get a good night's sleep the night before. Are you familiar with the players at the table? So it always depends on a couple things, but I'm usually one to buy in for on the larger end. But you don't always have to do so. You can maybe start small, play a little short stack strategy and work your way up. Or you can buy in deep and, you know, kind of be the table captain, and, you know, everyone's going to kind of be looking your way to see how fast the action's going to go. So you never quite know.
Chip colors, red chips are $5, green chips are $25, black chips are $100. If you do see a purple chip, which you could later on in the night, they're going to be $500, and if we get really big, the yellow chips will be $1,000. The other chips you see on the table are tip chips. Those are the silver, and you'll see some pumpkin ones. There's an 8-10-6, 2 clubs, as E flops middle pair, bottom pair. You'll make the bet. Take it down, but the silver chips are dollar tip chips. Here in Texas, as we try to explain, you can't take any money off the table if you want to tip the dealer. You have to take them in the form of either cash or special designed tip chips, and those are the silver ones you see, and sometimes those are $1 tip chips, and the $5 tip chips look like a little pumpkin or black and orange chip chips. So those are the chip denominations. We'll be here for 3 hours tonight, just getting started here, 8:15 Austin time. Rick Epstein along with Mike the Skull Reisman.
Usually on bowl games, if I had to take a pick, I just pick
January 2nd.
Man, 2020, thank God. Hopefully 2021 will bring us normalized interactions with one another.
Still feels about the same. Probably going to be at least 6 or 7 months or so, but I can't complain. I had a strong 2020. Everything's good on the home front. I got to thank Nina for that. So Nina, if you're watching, you're the one.
Wow.
Shout out to Nina.
Strong shout out. I've
Shout
never
out
met
to
Nina.
Nina's
King 6-3, 2
taking
hearts.
care. Here we go.
Killer K flopped a pretty good flush draw there.
2 hearts. Nice to see Killer K back in the mix. Again, I said he hasn't been here a lot lately, but he gave me a little shout out. He says, Mike, I got to get in the mix. I've been watching on YouTube. I want to get in there and run it up. So I said, Killer K, you know where to be. You know what time and place.
That's 50. Ron will call with top pair. K9 Wolf.
And Wolf in here, he actually connects top pair on this board.
There's an 8, a red 8.
Action card gives Killer K the open ender as well. He's not going to be slowing down.
Killer K with 900 behind. Both players around 900 to 1,400 in that range. So they're going to be another $50 bet. Quick call from Ron.
A little bit of a blocker bet. Ron playing it safe behind, and still the Kings are good here. So let's see what Killer K comes with on the river. He knows his 9 high is no good. He's not one to shut down. But I think this looks a little suspicious. This is not going to get by. Ron's going to snap this off, and K's going to lose a little pot right here, 150, going to seat one's way.
And there you go. Ron can take a nice little pot down with kings and 6s. Queen kicker. And on to the next one.
Yep, Killer K's got heart, but if he wants to try and rep a stronger hand, I think he's got to go a little bit larger on the turn there. And if he misses like he did, he's got to fire that triple barrel if he wants to win that hand. He's not going to scare Ron. Ron's one for action as well. And when it's just 150 on the river after calling 50 on flop and turn, he's not going anywhere on the river with the king there. So
we're going to show that cumulative winnings throughout the night, and that'll be fun throughout the night. And we got a good little retweet earlier this week as Dave Klaproth, the executive producer, he kind of chopped up some of the key fun hands from last week, put them out in little segments, 2-3 minute YouTube clips, and guess who retweeted us? None other than Andrew Neeney, the famous poker blogger. So,
like that, that's what we'd like to see. Dave did a good job with those little highlight videos. So
I love the titles. One of them, "There Will Be Blood." I
Will
love
Be Blood.
that.
And our boy Sammy in the chat here is the one who got juiced up. He had heart there. He had boat over boat. Sammy from last week in the chat. It was an unfortunate hand for him. Put on quite the acting job, but he had such a strong holding that he ran into Scotland's jacks, boat over boat, and there was blood all over the place.
Looks like we're going to go heads up to the flop.
Shout out to our cleaning ladies who cleaned all the blood off the felt here. You barely even realize.
I see a little right there. 254.
Felt
two
looks
clubs.
clean. Felt's always nice and fresh here at the lodge. Steven Reisman in the chat. What's up, buddy?
And Joe would have flopped a wheel there.
150.
There's a $150.
We got this a bomber we got going on here?
No.
Oh, all the action is pre. Okay.
Yeah, pre-flop, and they've got a heads up. Always takes the stream a little while to get started. There's a raise, and he's going to raise it up to 450.
Big hand here brewing. Joe flopping the wheel. Jay went with the nut draw. Also a draw to the wheel. Any club here would be gross for Joe.
So Win and Joe are in. So all in and a call.
Yeah, I don't think Jake's in this hand. That's
No.
just where we're going to be going heads up here with the 6 and the 7 seed.
Oh my goodness.
And we were going to get it all in right now, so there's no time to waste. Jay Wynn is going to jam here with his overs, the straight draw and the nut flush draw, and you know Joe's not folding snap call with the flop the wheel. So Jay Wynn's going to need to get lucky here if he wants to win this pot, otherwise a nice big one right off the bat.
Wow.
He's going to go Joe's way. So here we go. We got to sweat early.
Looks to need some clubs.
Needs clubs and clubs only, or some chop outs for the other straight as well. That's not going to do it. 2 is no help.
7 outs. Huge pot here. Oh, there's the club.
Ooh, nuts.
The wheel gets deflated.
The nut flush, obviously there's a boat out there, so not the supreme nuts, but what a card for Jaywin. Welcome to the lodge, Jaywin. Nice to be here. We hope to see you here more in the future. You just get there on the river here at the lodge.
Oh.
Come from behind, get there on the river, and you get a massive pot shipped your way. So brutal for Joe, but beginner's luck here for Jaywin. He's no beginner to poker, but maybe a beginner to the lodge, and just thinks it.
It's a welcome present to the lodge, and you know what can Joe do? I mean, he turned the wheel. I mean, he's not going anywhere.
Flopped it.
Flopped the wheel.
Flopped the wheel.
So he's not going anywhere. You got to feel pretty comfortable.
That's the worst. I actually flopped the wheel. I was playing a couple days ago. I flopped the wheel in a massive pot, and then had to fold my hand on the turn. I was behind, and I had to let it go on the turn, and got away at the minimum. But just brutal when you flopped the nuts and then ended up losing the hand. So.
Wow, Philip Nathan in says $300 bounty on Cy's head. Bust Cy, and I send you $300.
Philip must be sipping the Kool-Aid a little early because Cy is not in this game tonight. He's in the chat, so he's laughing at Phil from behind. Maybe Phil needs to open his eyes and wake up a little bit because Cy is not here this evening, buddy.
Good to see Steven Reisman back. We missed him last week. He fell asleep on the couch and missed the entire
I think that's exactly what happened.
live stream last week. It's all right. He's back now. Now we got a raise from Big Tony to 45. Back over to Jaywin, who just had a huge hand. The jack of clubs on the river. now all of a sudden Jay Wynn, he's yawning. He's saying, "Oh, my wife just called. She wants me to come home. I'm ready to go home."
I don't think he's no hitting and running on the screen. Not allowed.
You can do it once. It won't happen twice, right?
You won't be invited to the next game. That's right. Speaking of things to come, next week is the 1K winner take all sit and go. So if you're watching here in the chat, get ready for that next week. We're not going to have our normal 5-5 game. Killer K here flopping top pair with the nut flush draw.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to get any action from Tony with the Jays.
Jiggity's Tony able to sniff things out there. He says, my jacks don't look too good right now. There's the 7 of clubs, meaningless card there. Killer K still with the top pair and flush draw. Bets $100.
As he should, and I think that's going to just take it down right then and there.
Joe fold. Joe looks like he just bought in. Looks like at least for 700. I see $500 placard and a couple $100 placards.
Yeah. Double check that out.
We want to welcome everybody to the live stream. I think at our top last week in the live stream, I think we had over 60 in the live stream. We're hoping that we can get that up over 100. And then, of course, all the viewers that we have, we love those. So we want to thank our title sponsor, America's Card Room. If you play online, give them a chance at your action. If you play live, we hope you call the Lodge your home. Lodge open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Exit 251 on I-35, 1420 South Interstate 35, right next to the Whataburger. Can't miss us. Looks like we're going to have several players going to the flop as Killer K just checks it. Here we go to the flop. 7-7-4. As Jake hits trips, 77% chance to win. Big Jake checks, wants somebody else to bet. There's the 3 of spades. So now we got Joe with the flush draw, and Jake obviously with the trips.
Crazy for Jake's checker on the flop. I would not have mind leading out there 6-handed with the 7, trying to fold out some of the weaker holdings, maybe target an overpair, somebody on clubs. Now invite spades into the pot on the turn. Can no longer slow play this pot. Let's see what the river brings.
There's a 5.
So the straight gets there, so Joe is going to steal one away from Jake here. Pretty brutal river for Jake. Ron, 7s and 5s.
90.
40 people in the chat. Let's get it up there. And everybody on the chat can send a text to one of their friends, tell them to log on. Let's get this. Let's keep it growing as Jake will make the call. Jake's going to see the bad news as the 4-line to the straight.
So Joe on the comeback trail after getting stacked off by Jay Wynn on that river flush. Gets a fortunate river for himself there. River's the straight. He's going to take a small one away from Jake.
As I was mentioning, the Lodge open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've got a lot of big things coming up. Next month, I can't believe it's already next month, February 25th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's the big one, $200,000 guarantee, $500 buy-in, $75 access fee at the door gets you in. You can enter as many times as you want. We have 3 day ones. Day 1A, Day 1B, Day 1C, and then it'll all end on Sunday, February 28th. Someone is going to walk out of here with over 50K. I'm thinking it's going to be more like 60K, Mike.
They got it looks like a quadruple straddle going on here. So I'm basically looking forward to that big one in February with 60K here. But our boy Justice in the 3 seat, new to the stream, says, let's play some cards. And he's going to juice it up with the King-8 suited, putting the pressure on the straddles.
Killer goes out, as does E. I'm sorry, as does Ron. Big Tony will come along with K9 offsuit and back to Justice. He's going to fold.
Just trying to put on a show for the stream. Unfortunately, can't go with it with his jack high. And we have a battle with king highs going at it, the 2 and the 4 seed.
Uh-oh. 8 in the window. As E just jumps way ahead of Big Tony.
You know he's going to see bet this one after making top pair here. Let's see what he comes with.
85.
Comes on the smaller side, about 85 it looks like. Ambitious call there by Tony, believing in his overs. Could have just let it go right there, but
that's going to stop some action there. Three clubs and the ace.
I don't think these players have much experience with each other, so this kind of might be the feeling out process, maybe try and gain some information on one another here. But that ace does slow down the action. Let's take a river.
River's another ace, so obviously he has it, but Big Tony's going to say, I want that pot. Makes it 175. Actually make it, looks like 175, but it's 200. And now it's over to E. He lays it down. Big Tony.
Big lay down there by E, maybe putting on Tony on clubs or possibly that ace. So he does not want to call that 200 there to find out that information. He says, I'll let you have this one.
So who are we waiting on in seat 5 with the 2K
seat
right
5
there?
Is Sasha. He'll be here in a couple, probably about 10 minutes or so. He played on the 5-5 game last week.
Okay.
So we'll recognize him. He had a lot of fun last week. Wanted to get back in the mix. He doesn't usually play here at the lodge, so we're happy to see him here whenever we can. And we gave him priority for the seat, so he's going to come in there and mix it up with about 2K behind, so he'll be here shortly.
And as usual, each Saturday night, the Big O game is starting to gather on the table right next door to our live stream table. If you like Big O, Saturday night, well, we play it anytime you want to play it, but Saturday night has kind of been Big O night here at the lodge.
Big. We've got two, I think we're going to have 2 full tables of Big O going on, and we've got a lot of no limit going on. We got probably enough for another 2-5 game, maybe even another 5-5 game on the side. Very, very busy in the lodge here tonight, so plenty of 1-2 tables, 1-3, possible 2-5, becoming a very large gathering here on Saturday evening.
Some people might have got their stimulus check in the bank account.
Oh yeah, ship that 600, baby. That is a max buy-in at a new 1-3 table.
Putting it in play.
They got it invested here on the golden felt that the lodge has to offer here. Bring that 600 in, run it up.
Whatever the button chooses, 15 to 25.
I want to welcome everybody. Having a lot of listener crime going on in the chat room. Let's ease it up.
Don't egg them on.
Wow.
That's one way to get banned, so we're keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, shots fired. Let's keep it nice here. It's a kinder, gentler 2021. So Mike, are you all set for next week? The cage match, the battle royale, the winner take all. Everybody puts $1,000 in, and winner will take it all. No chops allowed.
No chops allowed. But looking forward to that. We had that in the works here for about over a month now. I've been focusing on these 5-5 games. Had a couple of last-minute cancellations for this game tonight. Don't appreciate that, but we've had some people fill in last minute. That's one way to get invited back, and that's one way not to get invited to future games there.
Yeah, things come up in life, and we understand that, but it really puts us in a bind if you call the day of and say, I can't make it. Queen 6, because what you're doing throughout the week is you're having to tell people no.
Exactly.
Because you've already booked a game.
Exactly. We have a lot of interest for these games, and I don't want to try and scramble last minute to put a full game together. So we're going to try and work on something in the future. We might have players pay their time in advance. That might be one way to avoid some last minute cancellations. We'll see. But next week's going to be good. A lot of more tournament players in the mix. Going to be some new faces to the stream, but some familiar faces to some of the Austin poker community. And some of the best players Austin has to offer will be mixing it up on this very table next Saturday night, winner take all, 1K buy-in.
Can't wait for that one. So it looks like we've got a couple players involved in this pot.
Call 45.
There's Jay Wynn. Will make the call, 45. Looks like we're going to go heads up here.
Heads up. One check already.
On the river. It's another ace, so
Aces have been hot tonight on the turn and river. Second time we've seen this exact run out.
Justice will act first here.
If you're new in the chat, new watching, again, like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow this viewership, trying to grow our subscribers. Hit that like button. We've been getting bigger and bigger each week, and that's what we want to see here. Continue to do so. And as we see here in the background, Sasha coming to the table. Steve Fadden has arrived.
All right, there's
Another
Sasha.
player. We are full.
Sasha comes to the table and has a rack of $2,000 in chips in front of him. And we're ready to take it up a notch. Joe already got touched up a little bit. He had to rebuy. And a huge hand against Jay Wynn on the club. If you missed that, that's definitely going to be a highlight reel coming
That
out.
will make it for sure. Very large pot right off the bat. There'll be more to come. You best believe it.
5-5 uncapped. Rick Epstein along with Mike the Skull Reisman here.
Sasha might have just come in fresh off the straddle, it looks like here. I think we're 50 or it might be 40 to go here. So first hand, the straddle has been pretty live tonight. Double, triple, quadruple straddles, pretty active. The table is ready to play.
Here comes Jake. Jake's going to make it 115. Big Tony thinking about it. He's only got $5 invested in this. But he says, I'm ready. I'll put another 110 in there. Justice will fold. As does E. And we're going to go to the flop three-handed.
Our boys Pete and Paul in the
heads up
channel here. Those are our Canadian friends north of the border.
4-5-7. Two diamonds.
Boys better play nice here for real.
215.
Enjoy the poker. Thanks for joining us. We miss you guys. You guys got to come on down once everything clears up. We'll get you guys all in the mix here on the stream. That'll be a fun show for sure.
Jake bets 215, and Jake coming out firing tonight. Big Jake.
Jake's got a fan in Rick. I think that's Jake's first pot of the night here.
I am a fan of Jake. I mean, Jake's always got his family watching, you know, kids.
They're watching tonight here. Calling Jake's family in the chat. Kristen, assemble. Assemble, Kristen.
How did Joan like the live stream? She was in for...
Joan loved it.
She did?
Yeah,
Okay,
she
good.
had a good time.
Didn't know she was having fun or not.
She had fun, you know. She's got her poker face on. She wants to get back in the mix. She's got some family stuff going on. I believe her sister had a back surgery, so I hope everything's going well with that. But she'll be back in the mix for sure. We'll see her coming in here. She said she'll probably be here tomorrow, so I know we don't have the stream going on Sunday. But if you're here, she won't be here at 6 a.m. She might be here at 6 p.m.
She was here one
she'll be
morning
here.
when I worked, you know, on the Sunday morning shift.
She might have been here from the night before.
Yes,
So Jones won for marathon. She's not a sprinter. She can sit here for very long sessions, something that I'm not a fan of myself. It's hard for me to do. I play about 6 or 7 hours, and I'm good.
E raises it to 175. Now it's over to Sasha, who just sat down, and he's ready to play. He's coming in firing.
He's coming into play. He was playing a little bit on the tighter side last week, but King 9 middle position, not the best spot to be playing this hand. We're only about 1.7 behind, but it's suited. That's what the kids say. We also have a suited King and Joe spot, and he's not one to fold. So a lot of middling kings here, diamonds, hearts, and clubs. Everybody is suited. Let's see what the flop brings. Could be spicy.
Yeah, and Sean made some of these hands we don't get because either through user error or through our error. So it usually picks up as we get going. The more hands we get going, the less you'll have hands where we don't see what the cards are. But we're sorry about that. Just bear with us, and you'll have fun tonight. Believe me. Two clubs on the flop.
Action flop here, E, with the overs and the clubs. We've seen a similar draw earlier on, and Joe's not one to fold top pair here, so I imagine he's going to c-bet. That's going to move Sasha out of the way. Joe's going to come along. We're going to have a nice juicy pot, get even bigger from the start pre here. I think that's going to do it, Sasha. So put that Tabasco sauce aside, send those cards over to Kev. Bye-bye. Thank you. And Joe is definitely not folding the 150 here.
Top pair, and nice kicker, and he makes the call. E with a lot of outs here.
Pot approaching 1K. Will the club come or the ace? No, sir.
Right now, he has nut low, but we're not playing high-low.
I have a feeling that this one could possibly make the highlight reel here, depending on what transpires here. I think he's going to fire another bullet here to try and build a pot. Both players very deep. Still has the nut advantage, raising pre here, can try and rep some over pairs, put pressure on an 8, which is exactly what Joe is holding. And he's reaching for the black chips, and those are the $100 chips here, and he's reaching for quite a few.
Joe, E.
Looks to be making it 650,
850.
850, a full pot size bet here. Or it looks like our card readers say 1.1.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's 1050. I'm sorry about that.
So,
over to Joe now.
Over bets the turn, spicy, and Joe doesn't take much time at all. So Joe, still believing in his 8, rather quickly makes that call here. And now, what's the river going to bring? Is it going to bring in the wheel? Is it going to bring in the nut flush, or are the 8's going to hold?
12 outs here. And that's not one of them. Joe is going to get rewarded as long as he stays in this pot.
So E knows his ace high is no good, and he's invested quite a lot into this pot already. I don't think he either can check or probably just shove all in. There's probably 2 options here. Pot is large. It is over 1.9.
It looks so tasty on the flop, and
that pot is closer to over 3K. So it's really check or jam if you're at E's spot.
Ooh.
And I think he rips it in.
He does. He goes all in.
So E rips it in here, and let's see what Joe comes with. I think he's already grabbing his chips, leaning towards call. He's already been stacked off once on a similar board when the flush actually got there. Same with clubs. Clubs did not get here this time.
And if he called 1,050 on the turn,
you got to call it here.
You got to call here.
Exactly, Rick. If you still believe your ace are good on the turn, and he makes the call. So there we go, Joe.
Wow, huge hand.
Joe making the highlight reel on the sour end and on the sweet side, all in one evening. Gets stacked off by the flush earlier on, makes the correct call here with his 8s and 3s.
Wow.
And that's a huge double for Joe.
And this game is out of the muck.
We are blazing hot tonight here. Wow. January 2nd, 2021. Steamy. Shout out to E there. E's got heart. He's not one to, be scared of putting in thousands of dollars on the river. It's the correct play. If you want to win this pot, that's what you needed to do. And a lot of players would fold in that spot.
But, going back to it, Mike, if you're calling 1,000 on the turn and the river only helps you, you got to call the river, don't you?
100%, Rick. You're starting to becoming a wise poker mind here. Must be learning week after week.
Well,
you make that call on the turn, you need to make that call on the river.
Right.
Otherwise, fold the turn. Save yourself $1,000. But big call there by Joe. Joe on the roller coaster ride here at the lodge.
Wow.
I didn't know we had roller coasters at the lodge, but we definitely do. I might be a little too short to ride on that roller coaster, but that's okay.
Roller coaster.
I'm in the booth. Whenever I was on riding those roller coasters, they always had that line, and I was suspect on those lines.
The little hand out. That if you're over the hand, you get to enter the ride.
But I'm in there tonight. No line here when you try to get in the booth here, and that is a huge hand. Lots going on here. We're only 40 minutes into our 3-hour stream, and we are rolling.
Paulo says, wow, those stimulus checks must be coming in fast. Whoa. Hey, Joe is really, you got to hand Joe. He took it, J-Win took all of his chips. He rebought.
Joe was ahead, though. J-Win got lucky there on the river there. So Joe's been ahead each time. And again, as we mentioned on, just prior here, unlucky once, fortunate and good the second time here, and building up a nice big stack. I think E's going to re-up, get some more bullets. He's got money behind. So we know E's going to reload and come out blazing. He's going to be after Joe trying to get some of those chips back. But we're on to the next hand, and Killer K wakes up with Big Slick. He's going to juice it up to 50.
53 people, and live chat. We're growing each and every week. Yeah, we're starting to see the cards left and right now, and it takes a little while. It usually, for some reason, it takes 3 or 4 hands before the readers get going and everything gets going. Looks like we've got an all-in. Man, Sasha has just come in firing, Mike.
Yeah, Sasha's here to play tonight, trying to squeeze with his 7s, targeting some weaker hands, trying to fold them out. He's trying to take this down right now. He doesn't really want to see a flop, but if he does see a flop, he's hoping to go up against an ace-king type of hand where he's ahead, flipping.
Kill a K. I mean, he's got the big slick, walking back to Houston, and he's going to fold, maybe?
Let's see. I mean, you know, Kay hasn't been playing much lately, but he's not shy. He says if this has to happen, so be it. So we're going to have another all-in hand. 7s versus ace-king. Don't see many aces or kings folded there, so let's see. Although the percentages are a little bit more in favor of the 7s, as they usually are, so there may be some aces and kings did fold out that are missed. But still, classic race situation, tournament type hand here, but we are flipping for, you know, about 2.5 here. I think it's a little larger than 1.7. No ace or king.
2 outs it's showing.
Trouble for Kay.
So now there's more outs now.
Counterfeit with the 8. Doesn't get there. 7's full.
And Sasha.
Queen's full of 7s, and that's going to do it for all of Kay's chips. Willing to gamble with his ace-king. Sasha has him covered. And a little bit of a sour taste for Kay here. Just, you know, hasn't been very active. Willing to go with it with his ace-king. And Paul is right in the chat. Those stimulus chips are coming in fast and furious. And let's see, is that going to do it for Kay? I don't know if he was coming here with 1 or 2 bullets. I think he was here just to fire 1 bullet, run it up. And that might do it for our boy Kay.
Player checks table number.
Yeah, so Kay's, I think Kay's going to be 1 and done. I think we might have a long list going. I think Saeed might be coming in. We've seen Saeed on previous streams, so
we've seen players come in and try to take a stab at it with the 1 buy-in, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And we've got a free poker lesson from Sammy. He makes a good point there. When he ships the turn, he only gets called by better, 9s or more or better. Moreover, he takes the bluffing rope away from E-Dog. So I like that. There's Kristen Stein. Happy New Year, Rick and Mike.
Steins have assembled here in the chat here. Grab that wine.
Grab the kids.
Back, relax. Happy New Year, Kristen. I know you've been working hard. You've been working out. She's been working out 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Wow.
Getting super strong here, trying to drag Jake in there too. I think Jake's getting a little too strong here. So they're doing something right at the Stein household.
So Sasha's going to color up get those reds out. He doesn't like reds. He just likes green.
He's here to play with the greens tonight, as he's shown. Loosening up his game from last week, getting in there with 7, says, let's flip for it. You want to play some poker? Let's gamble. And that was a gamble-type play, squeezing with the 7s.
Looks like E races up to 150. Joe makes the call. Joe has had an exciting night so far. Lost all of his chips and then got all of them back plus some. As Sasha's going to color up 2 racks full of red. Here comes the flop. 4, 6, 8 rainbow.
Shout out to Nemo in the chat. He's going to be one of our players in the 1K next week. So if you're a fan of Adam, aka Mr. Nemo, a Lodge regular, he's going to be on the stream next week trying to win that 9K.
Now, are you going to be playing in that?
I will be in the booth with you, sir.
Okay, I thought you were playing for some reason.
Sir.
All right.
I'm in the booth with you. And
is Siegel going to play, Corey?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Corey's going to be, I think, on his way soon to Florida for the WPT.
Okay.
They have a $1 million guaranteed $3,600 buy-in tournament coming up in January there. And also his parents live over there.
Okay.
But we had lots and lots of interest for that 1K, about 2 tables worth. So for the first one, I just wanted to do 1 table, get it all streamed, see how it goes, test out the structure. I know Joe did a great job creating that structure for the players.
Big Joe raises up 75. Do you think it has a chance of going from a higher dollar amount? I mean, I think that's what the fans want to see.
Yeah, we got to start someplace. I mean, $1,000 is a good place to start. We have more, you know, as I mentioned, multiple table interest for that. So if we raise the dollar amount, I'm sure we can still get one table. So we'll just see how next week goes. Take it week by week here, grow each and every week. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. If we get, you know, more and more subscribers and more likes, there's more and more things that we can possibly do. So that's what we're going for here.
Jack 10 King, Rainbow. It looks like Jake would have flopped a straight with his Queen 9. He feels a little bit bad about that. There's a 10, and he is going to win this pot as long as he stays in. But Big Tony has been known to make bets in interesting positions.
Are the other 5s dead, I guess? Because, you know, if 5 kills on this river, he loses the pot. So I don't know why the check mark was on the turn. But the other 5s might be dead, but still no 5 on the river. It's a 6, so he has this pot locked up. And we're going to have to get these dollar amounts correct, because he has way more than $250 behind. As you see, he's got thousands and thousands of dollars. So we'll work on those graphics here, try to get the chip counts correct. I know it's a little bit tough right when somebody rebuys here. We got to get the trick runners from the outside to come back into the studio. So bear with us on that. We'll get that accurate. I'd like to see our cumulative winning charts there. That's nice to see. Joe's again on that roller coaster from being up to up 2.7 and down to up 2.7.
And E is throwing a party right now.
He's stuck a little bit, but he's not one to you know, be shy being stuck 4.8. He's been stuck much more than that and ended the night positive. So he's a player. He's one to look out for, and he's just going to dust off that 4.8 and come back firing. And you never know what's going to happen here.
Adam says he'll be free rolling that 1K buy-in off the Bitcoin money. Yeah, Bitcoin is just going insane. It was, I think, 31,000 today. You know, in November, it was 18,000. It's literally in 1.5 months, it's almost doubled. So I don't know. If you're in that stuff, you're loving life right now, and who knows how high that stuff's going to go. It's the highest it's ever been.
Yeah, up and up each and every day.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It was up 10% today alone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's pretty good stuff. It's better than poker.
Yeah.
And here we go. Ace, Queen. We got a lot of good starters here. Ace, King, Queen, King, Queen. There's 663. Nobody with a 6.
Ace high still good.
Jake. With the Ace, Queen. There goes Sasha. Sasha fires 110.
He says using that position, says if it checks around for me, I'm going to try and rep a hand, steal it right here on the flop. Tough spot for Jake, best hand, but a lot of people behind. Sasha using the power position might take this one down right here. But Sticky Tony, Bazooka Gun Tony, coming in.
He just likes to call. He likes poker. And he flops now a gut shot. It's any 7 or 8 or 9.
And you know if this goes check, check, Tony's going to lead river. Tony doesn't float that flop out of position to check river when he just has king high. So let's see what Sasha come with. Does Sasha have a double barrel in him? And he does not. So you know Tony is ripping this river. Let's see what sizing Tony comes with. I'd like to see something along the lines of 400.
You know Tony well. He doesn't bet quite as much as that, but he did bet.
Low.
180 is the bet.
180 or 185. That's still good. That's going to be enough to get it done. I would have gone a little higher. But Sasha doing a little Hollywood here. The only play Sasha has is, I don't see him calling this off believing in his king high. Even an ace high type hand has him beat. Hero call would be quite heroic, but I think he's just going to send it into the muck. Either you fold or you raise and really put the heat back on Tony, but Sasha's going to probably send this one into the muck here in just a matter of seconds.
Big Tony, 9 high like a boss. I want to pick your brain on this hand here. All right, he folds like you thought he would. Now, walk us through. You knew that Big Tony was in to make that river bet.
It's just the way the hand played out. It's obvious. You know, like, you're not just calling that flop with 9 high to check that river. That would just be torching money. You were playing poker. You weren't buying that Sasha had a hand there. If you're in Tony's mind on the flop, I don't think he connected with any of this board. It's not a great board for the button. And once Sasha shows that weakness on the turn, the hand strength tilts back to Tony.
Right.
After calling that. So he used that. He knows Sasha's thinking the same thing, and he tried to rep a piece of that board, maybe a lower boat, maybe, you know, a hand like 8s or 9s that really put Sasha in a tough spot, and that's exactly what happened there.
So Sasha in about 30 minutes is going to be able to see that hand.
Maybe not. He might be focused in still. Maybe Tony's sending a message, you know, that he's here to play tonight, and he's going to, you know, cast a little doubt in his opponent's minds here that, you know, what is he really holding there? And then that next time that same situation pops up, it's very likely that Tony's going to have it, and he's going to get paid off light because his opponents don't really believe that he has anything. So it's nice to have a balanced range at the poker table where you're always keeping your other players at the table guessing on what you really have. So that's poker at its finest.
Sasha makes it 50. Joe, who's won the most so far in the cumulative winnings, comes along, and Jake will raise it up. Jake makes it 185. 3-bet to 185 and back to Sasha. He's got the jiggities. Sasha will call.
Sasha just with 9 high here.
9-4.
Sasha really coming here to mix it up tonight.
And there's Joe with King Jack, one of Jake's jacks. Interesting.
Jake wanted to thin the field for sure. Was probably hoping to go heads up. Instead, it's going 3-way. Still far out in the lead.
4-8-5. Sasha does flop bottom pair.
Imagine this is going to go check to Jake. Jake's going to c-bet there. And Sasha, I believe, will call behind here.
He's going to go all in.
Oh, no, maybe not.
Jake
I take that
all
back.
in.
So Jake overbetting the flop here, says I'm just going to take this down with my stack size, stack to pot ratio here. He's going to overbet it.
Kristen, close your eyes.
No,
Cross your fingers.
No, he's not going to get called by anybody. That's going to get it done. And that's
Sasha
probably the
goes
correct
down.
play there, because if he would have bet smaller there, I believe Sasha would have peeled one, putting Jake in a tough spot. If an over peeled off, and Jake, whoa!
Tosses the card.
Jake, come down, Jake. You gotta throw those cards across the table. Jeez.
You break one of those cards, they cost $3 a piece.
Goodness, Jake. Jake needs to probably hit that punching bag or something. Jake's known to be a deck thrower, though, so he's a lodge regular. Probably there's a bounty on Jake's head, maybe in the wild, wild west for card throwing. You know, you got to get some pieces of fruit or watermelon or something and have Jake just toss cards across the room and just slice them. Jake would win the gold medal for that, for sure.
We're having a chess night here coming up, so we might have that as another kind of a lodge Olympics.
Yeah, that's coming up here. I'm trying to work on my chess game, actually. I've always liked chess and the mind games of that, but I'm not super skilled in that game. I haven't played enough to really master it, but I know a lot of card players are very avid chess players, so that should be a fun night here at the lodge coming up. So very, very hot start here. We're 1 hour in, 2 more hours to go here on the stream tonight.
Wow, yeah.
Got 60 people in the chat again. So we're growing each and every week.
This little hand's starting off with a nice skillet.
Yes.
As E raised it to 65. And here comes a 3-bet from Justice for 300. Justice. That's pretty much half his stack, it looks like.
Yeah, so Justice going for a squeeze play here, trying to take out this dead money here. But E's one for big pots, and E is stuck, so E's going to gamble a little bit to try and get this money back. Put Justice in a tough spot here, and Joe's going to call too. So this pot's going to be over $1,000 already, and if you're Justice and you juice this up to $300, and you're probably going to be the first one to act, I'd imagine here.
Going all in. He's only got 475 behind. But it looks like as Jake will toss his chips in.
He folded with the 9, so Jake folds the best hand. Tough spot here. And if you're Justice here, no matter what this flop is, really, you just got to shove in your money here and probably just hope everybody folds out.
3 players go to the flop. King, 6, 5.
This shove, well, he's got the flush draw now. I think if you're Justice, you just got to shove it. Can't check it. You're just going to torch that 300. You only have 500 behind. He doesn't love it. Doesn't love it. He's thinking about it. He knows, and he's just going to check. And he's waving the white flag there because now if any heat comes from behind, he's going to fold. So aggressive play there by Justice doesn't pay off. Goes check, check. Let's see what Joe decides to do. Will Joe decide to rep a king here? You know he's hoping to see a free card. You know he's not folding if Joe bets. And Joe is going to decide to rep that king, and he's reaching for chips.
Blue man group hands. He'll make it 675.
Big bet putting Justice all in here, and now Justice is just sick to his stomach looking at the dealer like, why, dealer? Why couldn't you just put an ace or a jack out there? Why did you do that to me? God. And now he has a decision to make. This is another E-Joe battle. We've seen them battle once already tonight, and all that money in front of Joe is E's fallen soldiers, and he is one to be rescuing those fallen soldiers, and he's coming after it, trying to bink the spade. Ooh, and he gets there.
And he gets there big time because he's got the gut shot, straight flush draw.
And he checks it, setting the trap for Joe. And Joe's reaching down the dark, extra dark alley here. Reaching quick.
Do you raise here, or do you wait and let him pull the trigger again? I don't think he's betting the river.
I think Joe's not one to be scared of anything here, and Joe knows if this river is a blank, he just can't win with queen high, and this pot is getting big. So you go a number of different ways here. You can raise here, or you can also flat. I mean, you obviously want to protect your hand. You only have the 10 high flush. You want to try and protect to get another spade coming out, really putting you in a tough spot on the river. But I think I would flat this bet here and probably check river.
I don't think I think he's got to raise it. Yeah,
you can go either number of ways there. Either or is fine. I think either or is fine, and this is going to do it, though. You know Joe's not calling this.
He's not calling, but if he did have a high spade, let's say if he did have the ace of spades, you're charging for it at this point.
Right. Yep. I like either play, but this is going to do it here. There's no way. Joe's just trying to do a little Hollywood, trying to rep like he had a little bit of a stronger hand here and not just queen high. Although we've seen Joe do some pretty wild things here on this stream here, but even if you just call for a queen or a jack, he could have a king. So
there's no way.
You send this in. There we go. 100%.
And there we go. As E nails the flush on the turn, he gets a bunch of money back. Kind of a refund from Joe from an earlier hand that those two were involved in, and the money is just going back and forth like McEnroe and Connors.
Yes, shout out to the 80s and early 90s. We love ourselves some McEnroe. You can't be serious. The ball was on the line.
I mean, serious. That was back when tennis was actually fun.
Chalk flew up. Shout out to Sophie and Steve. I know they're gonna like that one. Big tennis fans back in South Carolina. But wow, really hot action here tonight. 9 o'clock Central Time. 2 more hours left on the stream. Really happy and proud of this little mix of players we got going on tonight. Some familiar faces, some old faces, but it seems like a great mix. And nobody is afraid here to mix it up. And we also now have Saeed in the 9 seat, aka Texas Apache. So he's getting a nice little rub down there by the leg side. He's going to be getting in here very shortly as well. Bet your butt on that one. That he's just not at this table to fold. So buckle up if you're watching at home.
Shout out to the new head coach of the University of Texas, Steve Sarkisian, as Tom Herman got the boot today. New football coach here in town, coming from Alabama way.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like passing by Chili's to go to Applebee's. It's really not much of a difference.
It reminds me of like the Lane Kiffin type, you know, they just bounce around, hang out with Saban a little bit, go here, go there, but their programs are never much of anything.
Queen Jack 3, 2 diamonds. $1.50 is the bet by Jay Wynn with a king. Jay Wynn wants to pull down this pot.
Sean says it's like watching an episode of Who Can Play Worse. That might, you know, we'd like to see you come here and mix it up.
Sean's been throwing fire, spitting fire.
People are here to gamble.
He's
People are here to
complaining
mix it
about
up.
our,
okay.
execution of cards. We love you, Sean, but my goodness.
Sean, if you think you can run up a stack here, you know where the lodge is.
We'll give you your first hour free, Sean, mate.
Shoot me an email, skullmikepoker@gmail.com, and I will get you in this game in 2 weeks, Sean. I will let you pick your seat, and you better run it up, my man.
We like you, Sean. Don't know you, but we like you. Keep it coming. As Jay Wynn looks down at ace-9 suited. As the Lodge Poker Club has a tournament going on right now, a little bounty tournament, has some cash games going on. Saturday night at the Lodge.
First Saturday night of the year here, and just jam-packed here. Loads and loads and tables full of action.
There's a familiar player now in the 9th seat who took the place. Looks like we've got Texas Apache. We saw him last week.
That's right, Adam. Everybody smash that like button. That's what we need. Like and subscribe. Never miss another show.
Sean thinks I almost don't want to see the cards at this point.
Just follow the chips.
There's a raise as Texas Apache with pocket 8s sits down in the seat. Is our man Scotland coming back?
Scotland, I let Scotland sit this one out tonight. Scotland's been in every stream. I know he'll be watching, maybe watching this one back. We're going to have some bigger games in the future. I want to kind of save my horses for future games.
Well, and Scotland also needs to practice on the bagpipes tonight. Maybe 170.
Is that the Rick joke of the week, or we still got to wait? Is that hour or two coming up?
No, that's not.
Uh-oh, it's not it.
We got a lot to go over tonight.
The Rick joke of the week. We're
Queen Jack 6. Rainbow.
Anticipating crickets.
Here's kind of a flop that I had earlier tonight that you sweated me. I flopped an open-ender.
Yeah, a lot different when we're hundreds and thousands behind as opposed to a couple $100. But I like the way you played it earlier. Unfortunately for you, you didn't hit, but we'll see here. 8 still ahead.
Wow, nice bet by Texas Apache.
Yeah, I like it, trying to find out exactly where he is right now, trying to shut it down, and that will get through. So the 8s are good, even with 2 overs on that board. But no, we said Apache wasn't here to check pocket 8s down a board like that. He's going to mix it up.
Yeah, he's ready to go. It seems like a lot of the players who just sit down, you saw it with Sasha, you saw it with Texas Apache, they like to get involved early, like to see, are they hot tonight? Is it their night?
They got to make their presence known, strike fear in the other opponents at the table. Jacob asked, do they draw for seats? Yes, sir. We do a random seat draw each and every week, so the players already come to the table and they are assigned a seat after we did that random draw that was supervised by the 4 managers.
Michael B. 10 million comedians out of work, and Rick is trying to be one. Hey,
can't fault the man for trying, Mikey. Come on, man.
Trying to add a little to the. I do perform in the Pineapple Room each and every week. I'll have a joke later on, but I'm gonna have to decide which one it is.
You better whip out one of your stronger ones tonight.
I do have a good one, actually. We'll have to figure this one out.
We'll let the fans in the chat judge Rick's future joke here, because it might have to be his last one. Episode 23 tonight.
Wow.
So
we've been going a couple months now. Here comes Justice. Justice is going to put all of his chips in the middle.
Justice with queens, definitely good enough, especially with that stack size. Says no more waiting. Let's get it in right now. If you want to call me, so be it. I'm a ladies' man. And let's see if he, he with so many people behind has to let his eights go. Maybe if he was closing the action, he'd have left the gamble for sure. But with so many people so deep behind him, he's got to let that one go. And Apache with just ace high.
Justice is going to win.
Takes it down. So a nice little play there by Justice, takes down a pot.
If you're worried about players watching their phones, we are on a 30-minute delay, so they can watch the stream. We encourage, we have it on in the club, so folks right now are watching this live stream in the club, but it's on a 30-minute delay, so they're not going to get anything other than a little bit of knowledge on how folks play certain hands, but not the hand that they're playing, for sure. It's just the Porsche belt. Steve Reese, as a kid, I went up to the Catskills. Little Tamarack Lodge action, for those who know that part of the world. Jake Stein will fold over to Texas Apache. He looks down at ace-5 offsuit, getting a massage. Make the call, easy $5. Here's the raise from Big Tony. $75 into the pot as Justice folds. Over to E.
St. Jack's have been going around tonight.
E will call. Back to Texas Apache. He's going to fold. Says I only have $5 in there, so we'll go 3 ways to the flop. E, Ron, and Big Tony.
Pink cards are really dead here.
Queen 9-3, 2 clubs. Ron with a club.
E spikes top pair, kills those Jays.
80.
$80 bet. Tony's gonna fold.
Ron betting that open ender here, so he's not going anywhere. Let's see what the turn brings. Maybe a club might slow down some action.
No club, deuce of spades now.
I think he's gonna check this, and Ron quickly checks behind, trying to see a free card.
Here's the king, and Ron
gets there.
Does hit his flush.
That gives E 2 pair, even though the clubs do get there. So he's going to take a little hit here. He's going to lead out, and he's going to.
160.
Let's see what Ron comes to do. I'd like to see Ron firing a raise, but he might be scared of those clubs as well and just kind of call the bet. But he looks to be not scared of making a minimum type raise here, so I do like the raise here by Ron. He's just going to have to pay this off. He's not going to love it, but it's just, it's so cheap, and he's not going to love it. He's going to quickly snap that off and see the bad news. So, he running a little bit bad. Still losing, I'd say, the minimum. Really brutal card there on the river. Didn't need that king. His queens were good. Ron just drawing to that open ender, binks it on the river there, and wins a nice little pot.
Aggression frequency stats, E, way out in front, 48%. Cumulative winnings, Jay wins still our leader. He's winning as much as E is losing.
Yeah, that was still a little off there because Joe has that. Still, is Joe back even? Is that accurate? I know Joe lost a big one there to
I don't know.
So that might be accurate. It's pretty close. Up and down we go. Jaywin's been rather quiet after hitting that nut flush on the river.
Texas Apache getting a massage from one of the massage girls here.
Shout out to Alexa.
She does great work.
65 in the chat, so again, we've surpassed our viewership from last week. So trying to get to 100 tonight, so if you're watching here in the chat, spread this link out to your friends and family. We'd appreciate it. Big show tonight, 9:10 Central Standard Time here. Lots of action, 70 minutes into the stream. Almost every hand, $1,000 pots.
There's a big football game going on too. We appreciate you watching a little poker. 66 people. We're just spiking up the charts now.
Let's go, baby.
There's other poker shows that get a lot of viewers. We're just growing. We're kind of the tortoise and the hare. We're just growing incrementally, kind of like Well, not like Bitcoin, but almost like Bitcoin. We just want that spike upward. Each week we go up.
Bitcoin-esque. That is Bitcoin-esque. Saturday night historically is not the best night for poker viewership, but it works for us. It seems to be working out for our viewers, and we're going to keep going.
Justice will come along. Big Tony gets up and takes a little break here. Sasha will raise it up to 60. Okay, win and fold over to Jake. Little fold. Back to Sasha. Back to Texas Apache. Probably come along here. Don't know the cards.
Raise it up to 60 total here. Call Sasha's bet. We're going to go three-way to a flop.
Justice makes the call. Texas Apache with pocket tens. Justice with king queen. Jack 8-5. Rainbow. Don't know what Sasha has.
You know, Apache's going to be up. Here he goes. He checks it. I thought he might fire in a C-bet there, but still respecting Sasha's raise pre. Wasn't the aggressor, wasn't the leader. I thought Texas Apache might have opened the action to 60, but I remember that Sasha did there. So back on the button, Sasha's going to C-bet here with the mystery hand, firing 125. And Apache's going to peel this one off. So let's see if you really have a jack. He's not going to be folding this one. Don't see him folding here. They played a little bit last week. Still has Justice behind. But Apache's going to peel this one off for sure.
125 is the bet, and it's called by Apache. Now it's heads up between Apache and Sasha. Ace of diamonds.
Not the card Apache wanted to see. So we're going to have a suspected check and another fire from Sasha. It'll be very interesting to see here if Apache would lead, but that would be pretty suspicious in my eyes. So I think we got to check this one over and see what Sasha does, and that's what he elects to do. Action back on C5, and he's reaching. You can see him reaching.
He's going to make it 250.
Might even be
275.
Y'all give me that liquor, I can do anything.
You don't know what he has, but you got to put him. He was on the button.
But we know what Apache has, and a bet like this puts Apache in a really tough spot.
Kazim joins the live chat. Hi, Kazim.
What's up, Kazim? Thanks for joining us in the chat. Kazim's been a player on some of our past shows. We'll get you in the mix again here soon, Kazim. Wanted to give some of our newer players a chance to grow the player pool. But still lots of action going on here tonight at the Lodge. 2 5-1 3s. So if you have that poker itch, come on down. You know where to find us, Kazim. Apache here still in the tank. Again, this puts tens in a real tough spot. You know, after your opponent goes in the tank this long on the turn, you might fire in another river bet to really make him squirm there if that no 10 comes on the river, which it probably won't when there's only 2 more in the deck. So Apache needs to think to himself here, what does he really have here? Do I call this off? Do I call off a river bet? Does he have it in him? And no, he does not. He's going to surrender those 10s right then and there, and a nice hand there by Sasha.
Going to the next one. I'll tell my joke real quick here. Guy walks into a pet store, wants a talking bird. Pet guy says, okay, for $125, here's the bird, and here's the bird cage. He takes it home. A week later, he comes back and says, the bird's not talking. You sold me a bird that doesn't talk. He said, well, do you have the mirror that goes in the cage? Guy says, no. He goes, here's $25. Take the mirror home. Puts the mirror in the cage. A week later, bird's still not talking. Guy goes back, tells the guy, you sold me a bad bird. He's not talking. Well, do you have the ladder that goes in the cage? $25, here's the ladder. He puts the ladder in the cage. Still, a week later, bird's not talking. Finally, the guy goes back. The bird's dead. He said, you sold me a bird that didn't talk. Now he's dead. You know, and the guy at the pet shop says, well, what happened? He goes, well, right before he died, he looked at me and said, don't they sell bird seed at the shop? And there's my joke. And here we go. Looks like we got a straddle. $80 from Sasha.
Somebody's got to go to the bird shop. We might need a parrot in the booth to replace Rick next week.
Don't they sell bird seed at the shop?
Oh.
Come on, that's a good joke right there. I had to shorten it because I had to
I
put it all.
I wasn't expecting that. You came in so hot after that last hand. I was just like, I think I missed the beginning there.
Oh man, I'll tell you next week. But you know, you have to fit the joke in very quickly, so I had to do it fast.
The best comedians have the best delivery, and they can't be rushed.
Well, they're not telling jokes in between poker hands.
That's true. It's a lot more difficult between poker hands.
We got heads up between Sasha and Ron. 7-5-8. Ron flops bottom pair. Sasha with the big slick. There's the king. Both players with a pair now.
Big card there for Sasha was behind with his big slick, catches up on the turn. In position on Ron, fires out a bet of 100. Tough card there for Ron. I think Ron's going to have to surrender his pair of fives here.
And I'm catching just almighty hell for that joke. Guys, you know, I had to shorten it. The joke, the punchline is, don't they sell bird seed at that shop? Just work with that joke. Let that simmer with you a little bit. As Mike takes another sip of his Miller Lite. You like Miller Lite?
I just need a little refreshment after that terrible joke.
Last week you were drinking Heineken.
I thought if I had a little beer in me, I might be able to, fire in one of those, pity laughs.
Yeah. But I'll work on my joke game. Look in the background. We got somebody wearing a mask. Somebody going Darth Vader on us. I like it.
Yes.
Look on the Big O table next time
That's not recommended.
The camera angle goes there, and Justice looks down. With ace-8 suited, he's going to raise it up to 50. E looks down at pocket fives. He's coming along for sure. Jay Wynn will fold, as does Joe. Jake, 8-6 offsuit in the small blind. Crickets. I like that. I like it. Hey, I can take it. Come strong or don't come at all. Yeah, you got a little skillet brewing here, Mikey.
Yeah, these guys are playing tonight. No nits at the table tonight.
205 in the pot, K99. And it looks like Ron can't feel like he's ahead, but he is. Over to Justice with ace-8 suited, and he's going to continue his story as he was the initial raiser. Justice makes it a buck and a squirt. 125.
This is getting dicey, not much behind. Committing his stack here. Just ace high, but he's still ahead of the queen 10 here, so setting yourself up for a turn jam here. Really all you can do after he checks, you just got to ship it in and hope and pray. That's what he does. Putting the heat on the exact type of hand that Ron has. Does Ron want to gamble for his gutty? He knows he's no good right now, but it's only getting, 225 to call.
And Justice, there's no way in hell that Justice thinks he's ahead right now.
I don't think he thinks he's good now, but now that he didn't get snapped off, he might believe now and he takes it down. So ace high good. Ron not willing to gamble with his gutty, and he shows it. He shows it a little, he says, all right, boys, you want to play? I only had ace high there. I don't know if I'd be showing it, but.
Ron could tell him, you were ahead. I didn't have the ace beat.
Yeah, and Ron will be able to, and Justice will be able to see that himself in about a half hour on the screen here at the lodge, so he was ahead there with his ace high.
I want to thank everyone involved tonight. Dave Klaproth, the executive producer. Joe S. punching the keyboard to change the camera angles.
Ed remain on special assignment tonight.
Yeah. It's good to see. Good to see Joe S. You know, he's one of the people that is instrumental in running this joint, and he takes his day off and comes in to help with the live stream.
Yep, we needed some help tonight, and he was the first one to come up and step up to the challenge.
Jake with pocket eights again. He's had that hand a couple times tonight. He's going to raise it up.
Like the raise on the button in position. Putting heat on the other hands here. Let's see. Probably E will defend here, and we'll go heads up, I suspect. But no, Big Tony says, I'm here to play. 7-6 off.
Big Tony plays a lot of different kinds of hands, and he really likes to put some money in the pot.
Some nights he'll play pretty tight, and some nights he'll play pretty loose, so you never quite know what you're going to get, what kind of mood Tony might be in here. But we've seen him make a bunch of plays here, but he smashes this flop here.
Oh, yeah.
This could be bad news for our boy Jake here, because this is a pretty good board for pocket eights.
Yeah.
But Jake's no dummy, but it checks around him. You got to C-bet this here, but we know he's going nowhere. So let's see if Jake can save some of his chips here and not lose them all, or potentially bank an 8 on the turn or river. So he's committing his pots brewing here. And
365 is the bet.
bad news for Jakey here.
Yeah. It's E doing his best Hollywood impression.
You just got to smooth call this here. No reason to raise this here. Let your opponent keep going at it. He's going to snap check this turn. The answer is going to be back on Jake, and we'll see what Jake comes with here. Will Jake slow down now that the 10 peel's on the turn?
And does that smooth call put alarm bells in Jake's hand?
Jake only has less than a pot size bet here, so it's really all in here or check here. You know, he's going to be jamming this river here, putting Jake to the test, and we'll see if Jake can get away. He might be able to get away now that that jack peels. So, you know, 9, 10, jack, any one of those hands have to beat here. So I don't think he will be checking this. I think he's just going to put Jake to the test. And I think Jake will get away from him here. So here comes the jam. Basically putting Jake all in, maybe leaving him with a little squirt behind.
525 is the bet.
I think Jake folds.
Oh, wow. And Jake
Stays
the
it
bad
off. So
news.
nice value there by E, not completely putting his opponent all in there. Just the right amount. Jake didn't take much time to make that call. But Jake's going to take a hit there. He's going to reach into his pocket and try and probably fire another bullet here. Just runs up against it there with that 9. Not giving him credit for much of anything on that hand. Just with the 8s, 9s, and 8s. That's all right.
Thanks for the compliment, Sammy. First 45 minutes, some of the best live stream poker I've seen. Yes, German is still a floor man here. Sean Mapes. Card throwing coming, says Paulo.
Yeah, talking about Jake.
Yeah.
Jake usually gets a little steamy when he loses a pot, but was pretty subdued on that one. Tapped the table, said good hand.
5-5 uncapped tonight. Doing this again. We did this last week. Got a tremendous response from it.
Now we got some background noise going in the background. We got a lot going on in the booth, going in and out, so we apologize for that if you're hearing that. Gets hot in the booth here. We got a lot of equipment going on, so sometimes we have to have that door open here in the booth. So we'll try and work with it. Just got a couple messages saying we're live in the background, but you know, a lot's going on at the lodge tonight. Busy place.
Joe now with pocket 10s. Jay Wynn with King Jack offsuit. Joe 3-bet to 225 with his 10s. Jay Wynn will fold. Jay Wynn was real active early. Has not been active in a long time. Same could be said for Joe, his neighbor with the blue gloves on, the Blue Man Group. You ever see that show, the Blue Man Group?
course. Not a big fan.
Oh man, we saw it before they got big. We didn't know what it was.
I don't know. I think Vegas can use a little swap of entertainment. It seems a little stale to me.
Well, there's no entertainment now. They're dying for anything. Sasha.
I saw pictures of people all on the strip for New Year's.
Yeah.
Fireworks. Our boy Sai usually plays the streams down in Vegas for New Year's, and he's back in town now. So
I've been now for over a year. I'm not going back till it gets a little.
I went to Vegas in July. I was playing some of the World Series of Poker tournaments online. I didn't really, wasn't very active or around many people, but still on an airplane. I was probably on a plane about 5 or 6 times in 2020. Doing my best.
So the straddle, Sasha's $20 straddle gets called by a bunch of people, and he'll just check his option. We'll go to the flop. Ace, ace, jack. That's probably one of the reasons why it went all the way around. There's no betting because nobody has an ace.
Kristen Stein's going back for seconds here on the wine glass. That's okay, that's allowed. Can't win every hand, can't win every night, Kristen. And if you want to mix it up in the stream here, if that's for real, I know you can hold your own and play the game. You're more than welcome. You let me know what you think about it. We'll get you in the mix too if you want to mix it up.
Heads up.
Let's see what the turn brings here. 6 is still in the lead. Well, no, jump aces and jacks in the apologies here, so a bit of a pair. Ron's still calling with the 6s here. Battle of the boys from the Harper Heights area.
There's an ace. So 2 boats.
Yeah, hard for Justice to pick Ron on quad, so he believes in his jack here. And looks like Ron's just going to pay this man off, pay this man his money, the $1.15. He called all this way, might as well call now.
And there's the boat and Justice picking up a nice little pot, 650 smacks.
Caddy Fresh, my boy from Nova Scotia, says we need to get us a desk fan. We do have a desk fan. We do.
I mean, there's 4 people in this room and a bunch of equipment, so
It's hot. We got a lot of production stuff in here, a lot of screens, a lot of monitors. It does get hot. Stein on Stein violence. That's exactly what you want, Kristen. You know you love it.
see Jake Stein, but my name's, I have Stein in my name, but I call it Epstein. So Stein, Stein, you choose it. On to the next. That was not a joke.
Sure.
I will let you know when it's a joke.
You're going in for another one there as well.
No, once a night. Once a night. Looks like Rosa is playing on the table next.
Rose, that's a tournament table, so I think Rose is mixing it up in the tournament, one of our nightly tournaments here at the lodge.
Raise to 60.
Going with King 10, raises to 60. Big Tony goes out with his Jack Deuce. Justice will fold, as does E. Sasha with Ace-9 offsuit. Will make the call. We'll go heads up to the flop. 7, 9, 10. As both players hit a pair.
So what Ron did on the last hand when hitting a pair, now it's like the top pair of fashion. Sasha's been pretty sticky at night too, so we have a bet and a call. We're going to take a turn.
Sasha and Ron. Deuce on the turn. Both players with a pair. Option over to Sasha. Makes it 180. Quick call. All right, Sasha. There's a jack on the river.
Check here. Sasha reaching, line a little fishy. In my opinion here, this is going to get snipped off by Ron. So we just saw Ron pay off a bet on that last hand rather quickly, so pretty ambitious play there by Sasha to try and get the 9s through there, and Ron sniffs it out, takes it down with his pair of 10s. Kristen has a little crush on Tony. We'll have to keep Jake away from the chat.
In relation to Ron Epstein. I haven't heard that joke Honestly, I'm not. I'm just.
What
This
do you
isn't a
think?
joke.
What
I
do you
haven't heard
think?
that joke since '76.
Who wore it
when
better?
Welcome Back, Carter. What?
Who wore it better, Tony or Jake? I'm just talking about Jake takes off his cap. Who wore it better? You know what's going on with this?
I don't know.
Because they're both lacking some follicles.
Right, but Big Tony makes it up for it on his chin.
Yeah. As Kristen said in the chat, she loves beer.
Sick beard.
Sick beer.
Big Tony, he's a perfect poker player with the mask because he does not change his expression. Not one bit.
I like E's table presence a lot too. E, a new player in table 4, you see when he gets involved in a hand, it's very consistent. And you're not really getting much off of him.
Right.
So just like Tony, like you're saying, I think E is pretty solid in that respect as well.
Well, and then you got players like Joe, who's got himself covered from head to toe, with the mask, the sunglasses, and the hoodie. You can barely see anything from Joe. But I'm just talking in general. Big Tony's, his eyes just don't, they don't change from if he takes a big pot down or he loses a big pot.
Yeah, very, very calm and collected and cool, and that's a pretty solid trait for him.
Yeah.
He's got good bankroll management. Big Tony's a big businessman. He's not hurting financially. He plays within his means, and he plays solid. He's been playing poker for many, many years. So he's been in the World Series of Poker. He used to mix it up in tournaments. No stranger to high cash games. So he's always wanted to hit me up when we got bigger games going. He always wants to get in the mix, and we're happy to have him.
Yeah, and he's just it seems like he'd be a nice guy to play poker with. It doesn't seem to berate anybody or get mad. So those are the players that you like to call back. 140 is the bet. Over to
Same pair of gloves or old pair of gloves from last week from Joe?
No, those are new. Those are new.
Those are fresh ones?
Those are fresh ones.
You don't think he takes them off from home? Maybe he has a little fan.
I think they're
Put them
disposable.
by the window?
I think when he leaves here, he throws them in the bin.
Let's hope so.
68 people in the chat. I think that might be our
We were over
record.
70.
We were?
Yeah, we were
Oh,
over
didn't
70.
see it. I missed it. Maybe after I told the joke, it went back down.
Yeah, probably.
I got to stop telling
Probably
jokes.
killed a few people there.
Here comes Big Tony. He fires out. He calls. He calls at
river bet here.
275.
Calls it off there, but Joe gets there on the river with a straight. Wow. 9 is good, and Big Tony's 10s die, sent him to the mug, and Joe wins another one. So Joe been very, very active tonight. No stranger to the big pots. Takes down a nice one.
Interesting, before he headed over to this table, he was at my 1-2 table, I guess waiting for this seat to open up.
Well, Joe, Big Tony was not on the original list to play tonight. We had Cole take that seat. Cole's missed the last couple of streams. I wanted to give him a shot. So Tony came in here and the 1-3, 2-5 games were full. So he went on the 1-2 list, graduated from the 1-2, started playing the 1-3. And then Cole went deep into one of the afternoon tournaments, so I had to give Cole's seat up. And I saw Tony. I said, Tony, the seat's yours. And that's how he's arrived here at the 5-5 game.
Got a good question from Addy Fresh. Are we seeing any changes in how some players performed since they started wearing masks, improvements or otherwise? What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
Addy Fresh is one of my buddies. He's lived in Austin for about 10 years and recently moved to Canada about a year ago, back to his family area. So shout out to you. I miss you, buddy, for that respect. But good question. Very good question. And yeah, it's definitely changed a little bit. There's always that debate going on in the poker world as we see Big Tony here. Flops trips, trip aces here, but Joe has not much of anything. But, people wearing sunglasses at the table, people wearing hats, hoods. Is it authentic? Are they covering up tells? And it's to each their own there. You can go either way there, but now just masks are safeties first. So everyone who comes into the lodge has to be wearing a mask to get their temperature checked. We don't want to run the risk any further than we're already doing here, playing cards in close proximity. But it's just part of the way it's become normal now. So you got to get reads on players through their timing, through how they look at their chips, how they bet, their bet sizing, how the texture of the board changes. So just got to put the mask as a, it's a feature of the body, like any other body part now. And you just got to focus on the other things that make your poker decision the best possible action on any street.
Good question from the gallery.
I bought a mask, a new mask, online about 2 weeks ago, and it said it arrived about 2 days ago at my place. It wasn't there. It's one that lights up.
Oh my goodness!
You can advertise stuff on your phone.
Oh, nice.
So it was pretty sweet. I was going to have, the Lodge Poker Club live stream run across my mask while I was playing here today.
You think your porch pirate stole it?
I don't know where it went. I'm kind of annoyed, so I had to send a message to the man. If it's the first time I've ever lost something that's gotten mailed to me. I checked the tracking number. It said it showed up, but not the case. So.
I'm not saying anything, but I saw Bingo with a light-up mask yesterday.
It's the best joke of the night, best joke of the stream right there from our boy Rick coming in hot with the bingo jokes. You gotta go with what works there, Rick. Timing a nice bingo joke is just classic. For our friends that don't know bingo,
you're irresistible with bingo.
You can check some of our previous shows. I know we fire out episodes weekly. We usually do voiceovers for our tournament, our weekly tournaments, and those are edited shows that run about an hour long. And our boy Bingo has made a couple of final tables, so you can check that out on the channel. We've been doing these live streams weekly on Saturday nights, usually our 5-5, no limit uncapped cash games, as you see here tonight. But next week will be our 1K tournament-style turbo, winner take all, 9-handed, no deals allowed, no chops. So tune in for that next week. It's going to be pretty exciting.
We're about halfway through, an hour and a half into our live stream tonight. We'll go for till about 11 Central Time. Looks like we got a raise from E to 40. And another re-raise from Sasha. He's going to kick it up to 150.
Position there, got to juice it up.
And the chips, the tip chips on top of the button is just a simple way of, those would go to the dealer if the person on the button won the pot. Just a way to have some fun with the dealer and get him, incent him a little bit.
Actually looks to be getting spicy here with the suited connector 6-5 and diamonds. He wants to see a flop here. 6-5 is a nice hand that gives him a lot of playability on the flop, and also crack bigger hands like ace, king, king, queen, or even aces or kings if you flop correctly. Justice with sixes here. We've seen him the squeeze here earlier with a similar hand with sevens. Will he elect to do it now? Kind of tough with his stack size here. He can elect the set line, getting a good price, but still says, you know what, I'm just going to send it in. So he's going to let the sixes die here pre, and we're going to go three-way to a flop with some nice holdings.
470 in the middle, in the skillet, and here's the flop. Queen 9 ace, a queen for E, an ace for Sasha, nothing for Apache.
A little something for everybody, a little backdoor possibilities here. Maybe running straight cards or running diamonds. Apache's always one for backdoor opportunity, but he's going to check it. I see what I did there, Rick. Sorry. I'm keeping it. Keeping it clean, trying to keep it clean.
Oh,
backdoor, always one for backdoors.
It is that time of night, and we got.
But still,
Sasha.
We're gonna have some betting here, and we'll see what Apache likes to do. Will he fold, or will he be one to back me up here and say he's always one for backdoor possibilities, or he's gonna say, Mike, please stop embarrassing me, small Mike here. Keep it clean on the stream. If he calls, you're gonna have to apologize to me, Rick.
Yeah, I will. I mean, this
he calls. You see, he's thinking about it. But if he folds, then I apologize. Apache, I was out of line, completely out of line. Got to keep it PG on the stream.
Well, this goes back to if you're gonna call here, you're gonna bomb. You know, remember that hand with Big Tony?
Not necessarily. You could peel. You could peel here and then see. You know, you can gain equity on the turn. If you pick up a diamond, you pick up a a 5 or something.
Yeah, that's a good fold.
But it's a good fold. But still, let's say a random deuce peels. on the turn, then he could fold, no problem.
He's not going anywhere. He makes the call because he's got
He's
middle
got a
pair.
piece. Yeah, you can see what Sasha likes to do on the turn. Maybe he can spike a king or a queen.
There's 10. And now Sasha's 90% to win. E with 5 outs.
Both players with Broadway draws.
1 queen left. All the jacks are remaining that we know of. Check, check.
Check, check.
8 doesn't do anything. Sasha is going to take this down as long as he stays in.
Both players with some showdown value. Let's see what he elects to do. Pretty wet board out there. Does he believe his queen is still good? If so, he'll probably elect to check and see what Sasha does. If he does not believe the queen is good, he might try and turn his king-queen into a bluff and try and take it down with a larger bet. Maybe he even believes his queen's good and he's going to go for a smaller bet for value. Who knows? Pretty interesting spot here. I think he's going to check it, and he does. Check, check, ace, king, good.
Sean makes ask any chance the stream could be 6-handed instead of 9. I don't know why you would do that, but we're going to keep it 9-handed. Addy Fresh, solid analysis from both Reismans.
There's too much interest to go 6-handed, and a lot of players sometimes shy away from 6-handed play because they just don't want that constant action. They might be a little bit uncomfortable with it and change the game. But there's just a lot of people asking to play this game, so we're going to let them go. We're going to play
We'll go on to the next hand. Little audio.
Our headsets, you guys hear that? Our headsets are kind of going in and out.
Might be getting a little hot here. Let's see here.
Just bear with us here in the chat here. We got a little, trying to make a little adjustment to our headsets. Give us a nice thumbs up here in the chat if we sound okay. Still, you guys can still hear us all right?
65.
Yep. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Just equipment was getting a little hot, I think. Don't want to have anything freeze up on us. Joe with the ace-jack suited. Ron with the queen-8. 10-10 queen. Ron flops the queen, 2-pair now. As Joe makes the $100 bet, Ron calls. 8 on the turn. We'll go to the river, 6 on the river. So Ron will win this one as long as he stays in. 2-pair, queens and 10s.
We're all right here. Now,
We'll go on to the next hand.
actually getting some work done. Alexa here, steady massage going on. Swap out a card there too. One of our readers going correctly there.
74 in the live chat. See if we can get that up to 100. That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Be a nice little record for us. Each week we try to do a little bit better. I want to thank our title sponsor, America's Card Room. If you play online, give them a shot. If you play live, we hope you call the lodge your home. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Still from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. each week. Each day we have free play for our players. And there's a bad beat jackpot going on right now. Quad 10s loses. And you are involved in a bad beat jackpot.
I think it's about 14,000 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes up 1,000 each month. And for our Omaha games, it's a straight flush or better that gets beat. So Many opportunities here to win a little side change at one of our games. We're clocked in playing hourly at the lodge.
Time for a good joke now, Kristen. I'm going to keep the jokes till next week. So tune in next week for the next joke.
AKA he's out of material.
I'm out of material. I have to read my joke book. There's a 4 on the turn as E with 2 pair, 5s and 4s. He's going to take a stab at it. Make it $60. E and Sasha have been going at it. Sasha's going to lay down his ace-10, and E shows his 7. Doesn't show the 5.
Puts a little doubt in his opponent's mind there. Sasha looks at the monitor and says, bro, I can see what you had in a half hour. Why do you got to tease me for the half hour? He says, you know, maybe I can stack you off before then.
Exactly.
You never know. So playing a couple mind games there.
Pre-flop race stats there. Sasha in the lead, 31%. Ron at the bottom with just 2%. Poker Night at the Lodge, we do a couple shows each week. This is episode, I believe, 23. And we've enjoyed it. Mike and I have kind of stabilized as the on-air talent. We'd like to bring in guests every now and then. If you want to be on the live stream and you feel like you've got the skills for it, maybe we'll bring you on. So who knows? We're always looking for talent.
I might have to get him on these games soon, too.
I want to see you play, too. I mean, I love to have you in the booth, but I want to see the talents. But see, you by this time, you're already ready to go. You don't play late into the evening.
Adjust my schedule for a special game. We shall see. Maybe if we get over, a couple number of subscribers, people are going to see me play. I'll get in the mix for that. And incentivize and entice the people, fans at home.
See, what I'd like you to do is you go into the booth, and then every now and then you can duck in here. And
that's going to be tough if I'm actually playing the game.
Well, if you play in a big hand, come back in here 30 minutes later, and we'll get an update from you.
Maybe after the show or something like that, I can tell you what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid probably staying in the booth while
good call.
Live stuff's going on.
Good call.
But for sure, I hear what you're saying.
2 spades for Big Tony.
Steve's attempting a joke in the chat here. So Tony on the flush draw here with the open ender here. Justice with just 10 high. Justice is no longer with a handy fold, so it's Tony and here. Mystery hand.
Big Tony puts out some chips.
Big Tony getting there on the river with his flush. We're not quite sure what Sasha is holding. Oh, a flush as well. Snaps it off. 8 high flush, good. 4 high flush, and send it. So, brutal action river card there for Sasha, but that's what we want to see. We want to see money going into the pot, dreams getting crushed. People smiling, saying, aha, my 8 high flush was good. And that's what Tony's thinking as he makes it the next pot. Adams, Gold Mike 2024. I'll keep you posted. Keep you posted if I decide to run for Presidente.
Kristen asked, does the Lodge have a database where they keep all the stats from the live stream? I don't think we do that.
That's a good question, Kristen. It's probably tough to do. Maybe we can work that into the future as we get more and more handy with all these tools and tricks. But as we see pop up tonight, the cumulative winnings and stuff like that, you can follow along with that. That should be good enough for now. Sometimes tough when we're doing this live. We're doing everything here on the fly. There's a lot of moving parts in the booth. You got to rely on the chip readers. When a player busts and a new player comes in, sometimes that affects our chip counts. It's hard to change every last thing on the stream live. Perfect. We do our best. We're getting better each and every week, so that's a good thing. As Apache wakes up with the bullets, I think it's the first time tonight we've seen American Airlines.
Makes it 55.
Jake,
Gets a call from Ron.
Turn away. If you're watching at home, you might want to go, grab a snack, a healthy snack at that. Jake's gonna have to dodge some bullets here. Let's hope he doesn't connect with his board, and he does. Oh my goodness!
He just had a great flop.
Wow.
2 pair.
So he connects, and he connects just what he needed here. And Apache's going to be in trouble here as Jake spikes top 2. And Justice with the open ender, Jack 10. So lots of action going on here in this one.
200.
I like the check by both players. So Jake's setting the trap. So a nice check by Jake. Let's see if Justice goes for the mate. He has a decision to make.
He's got an open ender.
He's got an open ender, but he's got players behind, and he does just holding Jack high. He could peel maybe and try and bank it. He could raise. He could fold and go a number of ways. By the way he's acting here, I think he's going to elect to fold. Don't think he's kind of seeing how much money does our players have behind. Tough spot. It's just 200 here.
All right, so what are you thinking if you're Jake right now with Texas Apache making the 200? Are you going to race here? Not even worrying about what Justice does.
Depends on the stack size here. Is it 755 completely accurate? So Justice folds. Both players are familiar with each other.
Looks like it is about accurate for Jake.
Yeah, it's about accurate. He can go a number of ways. He can get it in right now. He can get it in on the turn. Apache holding the ace of spades, too. I wouldn't mind raising here.
He raises.
I like the raise.
Not quite all in, though.
It's basically all in. There's no way he's getting away, and he's going to say all in, and we're going to get it in right now. Jake calls, and let's see if they run it once or twice. So
it says Texas Apache is down. It says 3 outs, but it's actually more because
he'll gain more outs on the turn.
Gain more outs on the turn.
Right, to counterfeit Jake's 2 pair. Say if 4 comes,
7 now.
7 comes, aces and 7. So let's see what the river brings.
9 and
so
Jake
save.
will get the double up.
And it looks like they just ran it 1 time, so full double for Jake. Cracking the aces of Texas Apache, a brutal flop for Texas Apache. And just what the doctor ordered for Jake Stein, the Cobra, and C8.
And Kristen's going to Bloomingdale's tomorrow.
Yeah, somebody get Kristen a new handbag. Take care of the boys, maybe a new T-Rex for Lukey. And Jake, who's had a little tough night so far, getting stacked off early, recoups some of his losses. Doubles up via Apache, so nice hand, Jake.
Aces get cracked. Too loud?
So nice big one there for Jake.
Now it's good. Now it's good.
Yeah.
All right. Just having a little challenges with the headsets here.
Sounds better now, so we're back in business.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better right now. And Kristen says he's back in the game. Justice might be kicking himself. Would Justice have made?
Justice would have got there, right? Yeah, if he shipped it all in there with the open ender. So, yeah, that's brutal. If you're in Justice's spot, could have had the triple up, I'm sure. Better to be even than be stuck, Kristen. So, a crucial double up there for Jake as we approach the 10 o'clock hour.
It would be absolutely impossible if my wife was watching me play poker. I couldn't do it. And I love my wife. We've been married 30 years. She doesn't know. I mean, what she doesn't know doesn't hurt her, right? But if she knew, maybe I wouldn't be allowed to come play as much.
No hiding from Chris and Jake. She knows Jake plays a lot of poker here. And Jake, Magic strike twice for Jake here as he picks up the same hand. Doesn't spike top 2, but hits connects with the queen. Middle pair for Texas Apache.
And Michael makes a good comment. He says, I think he would have made a straight. He was getting 2-1 on a call with 8 outs. Close spot.
Could have shoved, could have folded, could have peeled. He likes to take the conservative route, doesn't want to gamble there, but he was getting a good price for sure.
Good analysis, Mike B. You belong in a booth somewhere. Sasha, little call. Jake raises up, king, queen suited. He likes that hand.
So he's going to be fishing for a gut shot here.
Ace is going to slow down the action on Jake's part, I bet.
Especially since the heart connects too. I'm not quite sure what Sasha's holding. Sasha could easily be holding 2 hearts. It does slow down the action. Checks all the way around and it's going to bring.
Or don't know what Sasha has. We know that Jake is beating Joe.
He's one that he's going to be reaching for chips. It looks to be about 520 or so. Behind, or is that 385?
Yeah, it looks like 385.
385. Nice little bet there by Sasha. That's going to do it for Joe. And what is Jake going to do with this pair of queens?
Jake just got those chips. Looking to see what he does with them. Oh, wow, didn't know that. Kristen said she introduced Jake to the game. Did you know that, Mike?
I don't think I did know that. I know Kristen's family plays a lot of cards. But let's see what Jake can come with here. Tough spot here. Looking at the board here, I'd like to see him maybe look up his opponent a little bit, but thinking about the line, it makes the correct read there. So, good lay down by Jake. Things to be turning around for him a little bit. Sasha shows his partner what he has, but does not show the table. So, I would like to see that one.
Yeah, he's going to show it.
It shows the 10 of hearts. 10 of hearts only, so. Red flush, maybe. Time will tell. I'll have to ask Sasha about that one later on.
Texas Apache just put on his parka. Looks like he's ready for the snow blizzard of 2021.
Cold out there. It's not that cold outside here at the lodge. My goodness.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day today in Austin, Texas. 60 degrees, sun is shining. Had some rain earlier in the week.
Yeah, I went for a nice long walk in the park.
It's a little weird if it doesn't feel like a Saturday because, you know, you had that holiday mixed in there.
It felt like Saturday for me for the past week. Work and all that stuff, so just been relaxing, taking it easy, playing some cards, bouncing some cards, enjoying my time off. Ready to bounce high and strong into the new year here as we approach Monday coming up in a few days. Yeah, Kristen, if you show one, show all, usually that's how it goes. But if, you know, none of the players say anything and nobody seems to care and the cards go amok, that's that. So usually show one, show all, but
And we're about ready to pass our second hour. We're on for one more hour tonight from 8 to 11 Central Time. 69 people in the chat right now. Rick Epstein and Mike Weisman. Poker Night at the Lodge. Presented by America's Card Room. There's a call from Texas Apache. Ron and Big Tony will go out. Justice looks down at Jack 9 offsuit. On the button. He'll fold.
can you hear me now? Can you see? I mean, my headset's going in and out, just kind of battling through it. But it seems as if people can hear me a little bit. Got people saying they can't hear me in the chat.
140.
Keep going.
All right.
We're working on it.
All right. We'll work on it. It's Joe and Texas Apache in this. Joe with top pair, Texas Apache with mid pair. Joe with 97% chance to win. We're going to change headsets out. I think it's just because the mixer might be getting hot. Yeah. We're getting a new headset for Mike to see if that will help the situation.
People in the chat can hear me now. I feel like I'm at an AT&T commercial, Verizon commercial, whatever the hell that was. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I like it. Mike needs a new mic. Yes, he did. $200 is the bet.
So people in
From
the chat
Joe.
here, give me a thumbs up if you hear me. Let's watch this game here as we got something going on.
Joe will take this down. Another pot for Joe. And we'll move on to the next hand. See, Steve, you did pay attention to the joke. Joke of the night. I guarantee you somebody will be telling that joke tomorrow to a family member. Do they sell bird seed at the pet shop? Yes. Go on to the next hand.
Mic check here, mic check on one. A little better, but not the same quality as Rick. Thank you, Kristen, for the feedback here. We're tweaking it right now, so keep letting us know how we're doing here. We're working on it.
Jay Wynn will raise it up to 60. Haven't seen him in too many pots lately. He gets involved. Texas Apache will come along with 8-9 offsuit. He will fold, as does Sasha. Yep. So it looks like we've got Ron.
Have three-handed here. Jay Wynn, Ron, and Texas Apache.
Ace-3 king. Jay Wynn flops middle pair.
Okay, here, so Jay Wynn in the lead here with middle pair. I'm going to kind of talk a little bit here and see, get my eyes off the chat so you guys can tell me how I'm doing as we work through the audio troubles. 5 of diamonds on the turn. Okay. Apache here going to lead this turn after checks by Jay Wynn. Action back on Jay Wynn facing a bet of 160. Thoughts on the night? A call very ambitious, Mike, for sure.
All right, they say much better. All right, queen on the river. And Jay Wynn's going to win this with 2 pair.
So that's going to make Jay Wynn feel a lot better here. I don't see him folding now. So So now, again, for the 9-8 call there, ambitious from the start. But if you go this long and you still have 9 high on the river and it checks to you, Apache's going to try and rep a hand as he reaches for chips. So reaching for a large sizing, but I don't think that's going to get J-Win to fold here. Looks to be 460. 460, nice sizing. Surprises J-Win here, but I don't see J-Win folding. Beating a lot of hands, obviously losing the Jack-10 Broadway, maybe Ace-King. But still, your King-Queen is pretty strong here, and you improved on the river. So he's reaching for chips. He's going to make the call. And don't see him folding here, folks. So Apache's going to take a hit. Chips are going to go J-Win's way. He improves on the river, makes the call. And 9 high, no good. Sends it right into the muck. Gonna work on closing this door. I know a little backup noise. Perfect. So, 10:05 Central Time. Go for another hour or so. We take a look at some of our winnings. J-Win having a nice night. Everybody else kind of been going up, down, back and forth. I think that Texas Apache is cumulative winnings and losses from the 9 seed total. So we know Cayenne was here early in the night and lost 1,000 early. So got to keep that in mind as well to the winning count for seat 9 Texas Apache. Everything else should be pretty accurate. So we thank everybody for joining us in the chat. I know I had some problems with my mic headset here, but everything seems to be back in order. So let's have a nice strong hour, a lot of big pots.
Yeah, it started off really, really strong, and then it lulled a little bit. So let's see if this third hour will be like the first hour.
Yeah, lots and lots of action there in that first hour. It's going to be tough to recreate that, but still, we got a lot of players here at the table who like throwing around some chips.
J-Win will fold over to Joe with Ace Queen. Nice hand. Texas Apache comes along with 5-6 offsuit. That's the kind of hand you win a huge pot if it comes. And he has a gut shot, two-way gut shot, right? 3 or 7.
Yeah, double gutter.
Double gutter.
So 8's in the lead here by Ron. Lots of overcard possibilities and a lot of players who don't like folding.
135 is the bet from Apache. Call from Ron with 8-9 top pair. Now we'll go heads up to the turn.
In position on Apache here. Let's see if Apache can hit one of his
there it is.
Bingo cards, and he does. And still giving Ron top pair. So you know Apache's going to be firing a bet here. As his stack is dwindling to 940, wants to try and make this bet lucrative enough where he can have a nice river-sized jam. Doesn't want to miss out on this equity.
That's the nuts right now.
Also Ron with a heart draw to go with his top pair. So you know Ron's not going anywhere, might even raise. I think he sticks them all in. He's going to get snapped off by Apache here. So the chips are in. We asked for some action as we enter here in the third hour, and then boom, delivery, special delivery.
So 6 outs for Ron.
Lots of outs. Lots of outs. He would still think, as we see, a lot of those hearts are already dead, but
yeah.
The 8's no help to him anymore, so he needs to hit this flush draw. Will a heart come?
Doesn't.
Does not. So 2 pair no good. Straight good for Apache. So Apache dusts off some money on the last hand with that river bluff that J-Win sniffs out, but gets rewarded on the next hand by binking his double gutter on the turn and recoup some of those losses there. So Ron takes a hit.
Those connected cards, low connecting cards, always can win huge pots if they come through. That's the 5-6 did.
Yeah, just as you said there, those are some pots where you can make some good money if they hit. You have some gamble in you, you can take the variance and the up and down on those hands. Those hands are not very strong. But when they get there, and especially if your opponent has top pair and the flush draw to boot, you're going to get action and you're going to get paid. And Texas Apache is going to stack up some of those red chips. Put a little green chips on top, and he's going to start feeling good about his play. Very nice. Kev's going to shuffle him up and we're going to go right on to the next hand there. So that's going to be one for the highlight reel. Mark that one down in your notebooks. You'll see that one later in the week. Like and subscribe to the channel, Lodge Poker Show, Lodge Poker Club live stream. That's what we need from you folks, to like and subscribe. Never miss out on the future broadcast. Next Saturday, again, the 1K, winner take all. So plenty on the schedule as we come up to the latter weeks in January and as we approach the 200K in February. The Lodge and Round Rock, the place to be. Justice going to get active here. He's going to lead out with his ace-7 off. Early position, ambitious raise there, but he's tired of folding. He's got people watching. Says, I'm on the stream. I'm here to play. Let's raise it up. And he's just going to flat behind with the Jack 9 of diamonds. J-Win with Trey is going to set line on the button. Smooth calls as well.
Over to Joe with King Jack offsuit.
Like to see a raise here. A lot of dead money out there, and you know you're opening the action in the small blind, but he's just going to elect to flat.
And Jake looks down at the great hand in Blackjack of 9 deuce.
Getting a good price to call there in the big blind, but just 9 deuce, just so dirty and gross. Sends it into the muck. We're going to go 4-way to a flop.
Flop comes 10-3-8 rainbow as E flops an open-ender.
140.
But the set of threes for J-Win is way out in front. But Justice decides to take another stab at it. Continuation bet of 140 is always good unless somebody hits something.
Yeah, J-Win running good tonight. Loving this as players betting and calling in front of him on the button with the set of threes. I like just smooth calling this. Setting the trap. Looking at stack sizes now, very deep. Him and E are very deep, so you can elect to try and target E and maybe build up a pot now. But Justice doesn't have much behind. I don't love the raise here, honestly. I would have just kind of smooth called this bet and probably elected to size up my raise on the turn.
Joe will head for the hills with his King Jack.
J-Win says, why wait? And this is going to do it for Justice. I don't see Justice. No, he's not coming along here, but if you give him a little rope, he might have shoved this whole stack there on the turn, and that would have put E in a tough spot as well. But he's going to charge this open-ender right now, gets heads up with E. You know E's not folding, so this pot's going to get pretty big here.
This has potential for greatness. Both players very deep, as you mentioned.
Some of our newer players to the stream, I've been in contact with E and J-Win over the past couple of weeks. Very excited to have them on the stream for this very reason. And then again, as we said there, you know, if you smooth call that on the flop, you know, Justice would have connected with his ace there on the turn. He's going to jam that. So now Justice would have been all in. E would have had a decision to make. Does he want to gamble or something? And you could have had a very, very nice pot for J-Win. But still, in the lead with a set of threes. Action on him, as I believe, did he check the turn already? I believe he did. I'm not 100% sure he did.
I don't think
he did.
He
did. He did. So J-Win is betting rather large here, about 1,000. So about a pot size bet. And what does he want to do?
He is drawn for the nuts.
We'll get you fixed up, Charles.
So
J-Win's going to take it down. Set of threes.
So he takes it down there, as we hear on our producer here in the booth. So we got a bunch of stuff being thrown at us here in the booth. Our producer Dave might be getting his car towed in the parking lot. So he ran out of the room. So we're gonna try and save his car here. So we're gonna be
minus the producer.
Yeah, we're free rolling here in the booth. So we're rolling with the punches tonight. Got a couple last minute cancellations, a couple curveballs, a couple busted mics. But you know, we're powering through here and we still have 45 minutes to go in the stream, so Let's do it, folks. Here we go. Nothing Joe S. can't handle. Helping out on the cameras, the ones and twos. So let's see what the next hand brings as E correctly gets away there. J-Win stacks another pot. And we got 30 bucks out in front of E's stack.
How sweet is it to just flop a set, especially when you're set miner with measly old threes and it comes. It's just so sweet.
George coming out of the woodwork tonight. Happy to see you there, George. Oh man, I really hope Dave comes back in a cheery mood. That's could be rough for us for the rest of the evening here. That's never a good feeling. But let's get to the poker here.
4, 6, 7, 2 clubs as E flops top pair and Ron flops bottom pair. Texas Apache, not much.
Michael B with another good analysis there, saying Justice could have avoided that sticky spot by just not leading with his ace-7 opening. Very true. On to the next hand here as E ahead with his top pair, 10 kicker.
Texas Apache will fold.
Just bottom pair, a little stuck. Trying to seize this as a decent opportunity, maybe to spike a 4, but he's in bad shape.
Queen of clubs, and that's
might slow down the action. Yep.
Only Ron with the club, but his club is a deuce of clubs.
Don't see Ron leading at this turn. Goes check, check. He's gonna take a river.
Jack on the river.
So he's not loving it there. 2 overs to his pair of 7s. Ron gonna try and rep a made hand, and it's gonna get through. So he gives him credit for possible straight, maybe clubs, or maybe just a random queen or jack, and the bet by Ron takes it down. So good job there by Ron not checking down his 4. Thought that was no good, and it was no good, but the bet of 100 is good. He's the one racking up the chips on that last hand.
We'll go to the next one. As you can see, the action is hot and heavy here at the Lodge tonight. Lots of cash games going. We got the bounty tournament on Saturday night. Had the normal Saturday big tournament, Saturday afternoon tournament at 70 entries. I noticed first place took home about $1,900 in the tournament this afternoon.
Yeah, that was nice. Still, holiday weekend here. A lot of people still just trying to get back with it, hop into 2021. But they're enjoying their time off here, and they're mixing up here at the Lodge. So the tournaments have been very lucrative and pretty heavy prize pools. J-Win with the jacks, so J-Win and E are going to be mixing it up here again. J-Win 3 bets to 350. Joe's been rather quiet lately. And Dave back in the booth with a smile, so let's go. He probably has a few kind words for the man in the truck, but I think all is well. So let's power onto this hand here. I know George was worried about our producer, but all is well. And Tony's going to get in here with the ladies, so this could be one for the highlight reel here. We have a hand brewing here with the ladies, the jiggities, and the ace-10. Smooth calls the 3-bet. So let's see what E elects to do. The man in the middle, ace-10, pretty tough when you have a lot of action around you.
This is shaping up for a huge hand right here. As Big Tony calls with his queens, he's in the lead right now.
So let's see. He can go a number of ways here, but he's going to just flat it. And we're going to go 3-way to a flop at 350 to see it. So let's see what Kevin brings here on the flop.
$1,100 in the skillet. 888.
Oh, hello.
2 boats on the flop.
So very tricky board to maneuver here. You got to put your opponent on obviously some type of pair. Kings, aces still in play. Obviously queens and jacks are in play here. So Tony first to act, taking his time. I would have liked to seen him check this to the pre-flop leader and aggressor J-Win, but he's going to say, no siree, Mikey. Let me play my cards the way I want to play it, and he's going to make it 375, getting rid of the man in the middle, and the action's back on J-Win.
Jaywin's not going anywhere. He's just deciding if he's going to raise or not. He flopped a boat.
It's a pretty suspicious line by Tony here. You're not loving it if you're Jaywin. And again, this is a pretty tricky and weird board. This is not one that you see frequently. So, you know, he's not folding. He's definitely not folding, at least here on the flop. You can't fold on the flop.
You know, he wasn't raised. His bet was not raised, so he's got to figure his jacks are good.
100%. 100%. So he's eyeing up Tony's stack here, and you're obviously not folding here. You're either flatting or you're electing to raise right now to see where you're at and see what Tony does. But asking for a count of Tony's stack, you see Jaywin eyeing up Tony's stack there. He's got how much behind here? About 1,015. So yeah, the graphics are pretty close to accurate. So about 2K behind here. 375 to go.
This is just going to be.
I think he ripped it. I think he ripped it all in.
This is just going to be a cooler for Jaywin.
No, he didn't rip it all in. He raised. So he needed 700 or 800 to go. So now, wowzers. Let's see here what the turn goes. 3. We're going to read it. It's going to get all in right here.
Dead to one of the jacks. There's 2 outs in the deck for Jaywin. Big Tony is just.
Tony's just really trying to think to himself, does my opponent, after being raised here, does he have kings or aces? He's only worried about kings or aces. Not putting his opponent credit for an 8. Can't really give you credit for an 8. He checks it over, shaking his head. So he is very worried right now about aces or kings. So
Big Tony.
I don't see him folding. After you call that raise on the flop, again, you got to, kings and aces have to be in your mind. So you make that call, but he looks to be leaning towards the fold. Pretty tough decision in the blender.
There's already 3,500 of his money in there. He's only got 1,500 behind.
Big hand of the evening here. Tough decision for Tony. Jaywin can definitely have aces or kings in his range. He's been rather quiet tonight, playing pretty snug, and every time he's had it when we've gone to showdown. So very, very likely that he could have aces or kings. Not giving his opponent credit for queens, because he's obviously the one holding queens, so that's out. Only one more combo of that. He's really only beating jacks or tens, and he makes the call, throwing the chip to Jaywin's way. Usually that means Tony doesn't think he's good, and he is good. So very good call there. Tough call for Tony, and we have a monster pot here on table 11 on the final hour of the stream. Can Jaywin spike?
Nope.
The jack he cannot, and the big one goes Tony's way, C2.
Tony makes the call. All right, so here's the deal. He had already, the pot was 7,700. He had 1,500 left. So that means he's putting in 1,500 to win 9,200. That's basically 6-to-1 odds. He's got to be right 1 out of every 6 times.
Yeah, if I'm calling that turn, I'm calling that river, and that's what Tony was leaning with. Mikey in the chat here says he didn't get re-raised though, so no aces or kings. Well, Jaywin was the one. Jaywin was the one who was the aggressor pre, and Tony just called the 350. And Jaywin was the aggressor the whole way, so I was giving Jaywin credit for aces or kings. So that was it's definitely in Jaywin's range there, 100%.
But I can understand what he's saying from Tony's perspective. From Jaywin's perspective, he knows he doesn't have aces and queens. He knows he has jacks.
Yeah.
So he's saying to Tony, he didn't raise me, so he doesn't think that he thinks his jacks are good.
I'm not talking about what Jaywin's mainly only scared about queens there, or maybe he thinks he's good. He's not putting Jaywin's not putting Tony on aces or kings.
Right.
Like maybe queens, but still probably even not that.
Right.
So Jaywin's doing that with all the aggression, thinking he's holding the best hand.
Yep.
So he's not putting his money in there as bluff. He's putting his money, trying to target maybe like 10s, 9s, pocket 7s. It's a very tricky board there when it all comes out the same number.
Big Tony with one of the biggest hands of the night. It's going to be a $5,700 pot, of which Big Tony will win about 3,100.
Yeah,
and that really helped his figures. Cumulative winnings. Big Tony vaults to the front of the line, 3,200 in winnings. Jaywin took a hit there. He was our big-time chip leader in cumulative winnings. He is now 1,300 ahead. And you notice E at the bottom. at 2,200
Leave
in the loss.
Apache only down 700.
Yeah.
Can't worry about that 8, Kristen. Really, it's very unlikely that somebody's holding an 8 there, especially when there was a lot of that action pre. So be it if they're holding like a 9-8 or a 7-8 suited type of hand and elected to get spicy with a large 3-bet there. You just have to ship the money their way. But it's very, very unlikely that your opponent is holding an 8. It's very more common that they're holding the holdings that they had, like, you know, kings, queens, jacks, something along those lines.
Because I think it was 300 before the flop.
Yeah, 350 or something.
Yeah,
so it was 3-way. So can't really put anybody on an 8 there. And if they have it, if they flop quads, you tip your hat to them and you surrender the money that you had there.
Yeah.
Hopefully my headset's okay. I think I'm having some of the same issues that I had on my last one. It's kind of going in and out of my ears, but now it goes in and out. We'll see what happens.
I think it might just be the cord when you step on it.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yep, it's a little bit better right now, so hopefully that's okay. All right.
Go to the next hand. Ron with 5-4 of hearts. Big Tony with 8-5, and Justice with pocket 10s. Yeah.
Yeah, you're having the same stuff I'm having, huh?
Yep.
So we're gonna try and work through this here. Let us know in the chat if you can't hear us. We're gonna keep going.
10:30 to about 10:25 in the evening, Central Time. We've got another 35 minutes to go. Ron and Justice to the flop. Queen, Jack, 5 as Ron flops a pair, and Justice still with his 10s, but can't feel too good about it with 2 overcards.
Ron really putting the heat on Justice here with just 5s, knowing Justice is very reluctant to call there. Shows his 10s. Ron with a very aggressive line there. And takes it down, so not afraid to put in big bluffs. Taking it down when he thinks it's a necessary play and gets it through there, so nice hand by Ron. I played with Ron earlier in the week, and he did a similar line to me. I don't even remember where I was holding. I've been playing a lot of cards lately, but I think I might have been bluffed. It's okay. Can't win every hand, right, Rick?
Absolutely.
So, 10:30, we've got a final half hour going here in the stream.
Looks like we got a straddle from E. $10 straddle. It's over to J-Win.
J-Win with the ladies. So he's trying to strike gold just like our boy Big Tony did when he was holding queen. So let's see if the reversal takes place. J-Win looking to bounce back after taking a little hit to his stack. Gets called by Joe. Action on Texas Apache with ace-10.
He's going to call, as does Ron. Over to Big Tony. Big Tony is going to call. Got a bunch of callers here.
Bunch of callers. I would not have minded seeing a little raise from Texas Apache, but
5 players to the flop. Here's the flop. 10, Jack, 5, Rainbow.
not what J-Win wanted to see going 5-way to a flop, and yet his queens are still good.
Texas Apache flops middle pair. Looks like a bet is
75. Definitely trying to thin the field. Has the best hand there. Called by Texas Apache with middle pair. Ron thinking about what can happen here if I spike an 8. Maybe thinking of, you know, the Bellagio, the fountains of Bellagio, but thinks better of himself, does not want to chase. Gets out of the way, and J-Win and Apache are going to take a turn.
Deuce of spades on the turn. J-Win still way in the lead. Apache needs an ace or a 10. Only 4 outs in the deck remain. There's a nice bet, 225. I don't think Texas Apaches can make this call. We'll see.
He might. He 100% might. These two haven't played much with each other, so not a lot to go off of from previous sessions. J-Win's been playing, you know, again, pretty straightforward tonight. He's been playing well. Hasn't made many mistakes. Thought his jacks were best on that previous hand against Tony. Unfortunately for him, he ran up against it with the queens. But now if he's the one holding the queens, the better hand, and gets raised.
Wow, big time raise.
Raised by Texas Apache. So
600.
doesn't love it. Doesn't love it. You're holding queens. You're holding the best hand here. But again, what was the bet pre? About 35, and it was called five-way.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of jacks and tens, even the hand specifically like Jack 10 is in one of those 5 players' ranges for sure. So very easily Texas Apache could have flopped top 2. Could have flopped a pair of 5s. Could have flopped 10s. Could have turned deuces. But J-Win's a non-believer, and he's going to make the call with the best hand, the correct read. And let's take a river and see what Texas Apache tries to do if he does not get lucky here and bank an ace or a 10.
Doesn't, but it does help his hand, he thinks. Now he's got 2 pair.
Your J-Win here, you got to check this over to Apache, as he does. Well, I don't love the, it's an ambitious raise there on the turn, but once you get called off there, you're in a tough spot. You do have showdown value with your 10,
All
but he
in.
rips it all in and gets snapped off by J-Win. So there we go, the correct read. Texas Apache really applying the pressure, but J-Win was a non-believer and a quick call on the all-in on the river, and he's going to take every last one of C9's chippies, kiss them goodbye. We need a rebuy on table 11. A little misstep there for Texas Apache. You know, had decent showdown value, had a decent hand. Went for it. Tried to rep a boat. Tried to rep a made hand more so than ace 10, but J-Win gets there. He was there the whole time, the whole way. Pre-flop, turn, and river, and makes the correct call.
Huge pot for J-Win as Texas Apache leaves the table.
A couple big pots here to come down to the wire. Our final half hour of the stream here, January 2nd, 2021. Episode 23, Jordan.
J-Win retakes the lead, 3,700. Big Tony second.
So we'll see if that does it for Apache's evening. If so, we will go 8-handed for the remainder of the stream. We might have a new player come on in. I think that might do it for Apache, and I think we have Cole on the list who went deep in the afternoon tourney. So Apache's gonna go home and think about his play this evening, and he'll come on back. He'll fire again, you know, that's for certain. But J-Win a fortunate winner there on a monster hand. We'll be going back and forth tonight.
J-Win's going to color up. I want to thank Joe S. for sitting in. Did a fabulous job on the keyboard tonight, along with Dave Klaproth, the executive producer.
And as J-Win goes for a color up, he's sitting there with the jiggities. So jacks, queens, jacks, 3 hands in a row in the last 10 minutes.
But one of them he lost big on to Tony. But it's fun when you're stacking chips and getting good hands. 2, 3, 5, and Justice flops his 2 pair, and he's looking down at his computer and doesn't have his card, so
he folded pre.
Yeah, he folded pre.
Again, we were kind of fixing with our headsets there for a little bit. And when we're fixing with our headsets, that takes time away from Dave typing in the correct betting amounts in hand. So just bear with us as we go through this hand here. We know J-Win's holding, he's not holding jacks. I guess he folded, so that might have been from a previous hand. So we're just going to have to do this one on the fly. And he's going to take it down. Sasha's going to take it down with the bet there on the flop. So we thank everybody for joining us tonight. Half hour to go. Test, test. Okay. So checking our headsets here. Sounds a little bit better.
We're going to color up those chips.
Yeah, get those reds off the table.
And on to the next hand. Mike, any New Year's resolutions for you?
You know, I actually had a pretty good 2020. It wasn't. I can't complain. So just going to keep kind of doing more of the same in 2021. See a little bit more of family. Try and do a little bit more travel. Obviously, we're going to have to see how the restrictions go and how everything transpires in the months ahead. But just keep going professionally. Try and see more family and friends. Some people I haven't seen in a while. You know, I live here in Texas and have a lot of family on the East Coast and some friends on the West Coast. So just want to get back out there. Really, that's probably my #1 resolution. Be a little more active.
7 Queen 10 Rainbow. And Justice makes the bet. Over to Jake. Jake's going to fold. Justice is going to take down the pot on the Queen 10-7.
So what do you think about our new players at the table here tonight? Seat 1, seat 2, seat 1, 3, 4, 6.
Yeah, no, I think they all fit in rather well. I kind of like E and the way he plays.
Yeah.
In seat 4. E and Sasha have complemented each other and gone head-to-head quite often tonight.
Jay Wynn playing pretty solid as well.
Yeah, Jay Wynn has been involved in some of the biggest hands of the night. Of course, Joe and Jake, Big Tony, all great players as well. You know, the tough part is every player there is a great player. It's hard. You know, there's nobody there that really doesn't belong.
100%. But definitely a lot of pressure being applied, and you got to maneuver through some tricky spots here if you want to be the winning player here at the end of the night. Everybody can't go home a winner. That's the beauty of poker. But when you're on the losing end, you want to try and minimize those losses. Sometimes you're just going to run bad. You're going to have the best hand, and you're going to end up losing.
4 players will go to the flop after a $60 bet from E. And we'll go to a flop. Deuce 4-7. Ron flops top pair.
Joe's got the flush draw, and Sasha's got the overpair to the board. So
even though Ron flopped top pair, he's basically in big trouble with this hand. He will go out with his King-9 suited.
$25 fee up front, $100 buy-in, 25 of that would be your bounty. 75
looks like a bet by Sasha. 105. Call from Ron. I'm from Joe. So Ron made the bet. Here comes the turn, an ace of hearts.
Not really a card that anybody here on the remaining 3 players wanted to see.
That'll be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Like I said, no longer a 10K guarantee. It's now $12,000.
Joe's been playing pretty solid tonight, too. He's been a little bit quiet lately, but not making any mistakes here. Ace of diamonds on the river, so the 8s are going to be the best hand here. I'd like to see maybe Sasha go for some value here on the river. As he does, he's reaching for chips. I think it might be I think Ron will end up calling this. It might be a little high, but still I think Ron's going to call this about 405. Nice bet there by Sasha. Joe looking to maybe get spicy, but hard to do when you have a player behind. Puts Ron in a tough spot, but I think he snapped it off. So great bet there by Sasha. Ron's still believing in his 7s and aces with the jack kicker, but no sir, 8s are good.
Sasha got tremendous value from that bet.
That was a great bet. I thought it might have been a tad too high, but it was snapped off there by Ron, so it turned out to be a perfect size, or maybe even a little bit low. Ron probably would have called a couple, another couple hundred there, depending on how, how fast he called it.
Alex D'Amico says definitely like the bet by Sasha.
Shout out to Alex, one of the managers here at the Lodge, does a great job. Thanks for tuning in, Guy. We appreciate you and all that you do here at the Lodge on a daily basis.
I saw him playing earlier today.
Well, he donates when he plays. He's a much better worker than a player.
Uh-oh, look who's sitting in seat 9.
Big Daddy Cole in the
Our
house.
good friend, Cole.
So we haven't seen Cole the last couple weeks here on the stream. Just trying to give, again, priority to some of our newer players. But Cole was in the starting lineup tonight, but went deep in the afternoon tournament, so unfortunately for him, I had to give up his seat. But when players get busted out, and each player in the 9 seat tonight seems to be the death seat, the scalp seat. So I really hope that Cole's wearing black, so all the blood and the juice that's on that seat is going to be a little hard to show up on his clothing.
I don't like the word juice. Yeah. Alex, we're sorry. We're sorry we mispronounced your name, buddy. Don't take offense.
Don't worry about him. He'll just shake it off. He'll shake it off. Poker room's not one for sensitive feelings, Alex. Mind your business. You don't like juice? What's wrong with juice? Like apple juice, orange juice,
just
blood splatter juice?
Not when you're talking about seats.
You don't like back doors?
I don't like juice on seats.
You don't like back doors and you don't like juices.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, when you say Texas Apache likes the back door, I mean, that's just wrong in any way you say. I don't care. That's not good analysis, Mike Skull-Reisman.
I'm just saying there's a lot of sorrow and troubles coming from that seat 9 tonight. So let's see if Cole can turn it around. And if anybody can do it, Cole's the one who can do it. He's not afraid to mix it up. He would have been great in this lineup tonight with all the players that we have.
Oh, God. So. Cole, put Cole and E and Sasha and Big Tony at a table, and we could have a dream lineup of just action players.
That's what I was thinking when I set these 9 guys off to start with here. But, we still had a great night tonight. We've had our most viewers. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. It's been a great night here, episode 23. Getting bigger and better each and every week.
Yes, smash the subscribe button and share it. If you like what we're doing, you think it's some good stuff, why don't you send it to one of your poker buddies? Copy and paste the link and just send it out to a few people. We'd appreciate it. Just say, hey, give us a shot. All we're asking is a shot. We realize there's a lot of poker shows out there. We're just one of the many. And we watch a lot of them ourselves. And we just like to be part of the mix and give us a shot. Ace 9 is going to win this hand.
They're good, but let's see what happens.
Tony don't see him calling anything.
It's going to be tough, especially with the sizing here that Sasha went. He's looking at what he has, so Tony's thinking about something here. Does he want to raise? I don't think he's really buying what Sasha's selling on this hand. But still, ace high beats you, even if Sasha's holding, like an ace 10. King high is no good here. So either Tony's going to be folding or he's going to be making a play here to rep a large hand, and he's going to like to fold, which is the proper move. And Sasha shows him the 9, says, hey, buddy, just calm down. I have a hand there. Don't think about doing anything crazy there, sir. He had that look in his eye. Sasha even sniffed it. He saw it. But Tony wanted to flex a little bit, and rightfully so. When you have fans in the chat admiring your nice long beard, you got to make a move here and there.
You do. You got to make your fans proud.
Yeah. So it's not just the beard. It's proper raises.
Got to give the people what they want.
But smart move there by Tony. Lays it down, and Sasha on a little bit of a run here as we approach the last 15 minutes of the stream here. So let's try and go out with a bang like we did last week. Last week, one of our last hands was There Will Be Blood. It was the boat over boat by Scotland and our boy Sammy. where the juice and splatter originated from,
that was
made its way to episode 23 as well.
There was an actual chalk mark on the floor, an outline
Yes.
of the body
Yes.
on that hand.
But Sammy was in the chat tonight, so he still lives. Somehow he walked on out of here, he limped on out of here, and he took it with good spirits. And he'll be back. If he wants to play in another game, we'll give you another shot, Sammy, so you know where to find me. It's skullmikepoker@gmail.com if you want to come on back. If you're local here, you'll get back in the mix and do some scalping of your own here and get that revenge that you oh so need. But Jaywin's going to raise it up here on the button with King 5. Cole's got jacks. So Cole in the under the gun.
Cole with jacks.
Cole under the gun, under-repping his jacks here. So he's setting a trap here. He's going to be raising this. I don't see Cole flatting the 60 here. He's going to raise it up and try and make this look a little squeezy. No, he does not. He just calls. So I thought Cole had that look in his eye of a raise possibility, but instead we're going to go 6-way or 5-way. I think we're 5-way. 5-way to a flop.
Flop comes ace, jack, 4, all spades, and Ron just smashes it with a flush.
Yeah, but so does Cole with a set of jacks here. So this hand's going to be active. Ron only has 670 behind, so this is getting in. Cole's not going to be folding. He's going to try and have that board pair. Ron ships it.
Does ship it.
Nobody else really with a spade now that Tony folds. So the action is going to fold around. Unless Joe's a believer in his ace here, but it's pretty tough, and he is a believer in his ace here. So if you're Cole here, you can maybe elect to build a side pot versus Joe. You can play this slow and call and hope for that board to pair and see what our boy Joe does on the turn. So this one's pretty interesting here.
Really, what is this, the second hand that Cole has played? Second or third?
Yeah, he just sat down. And he just calls. So Ron's jam gets called by 2 players. Ron looking for the triple up. Hoping to fade the board pairing here. Really in good shape for a double. Triple, my apologies. But this is going to be interesting side pot action. What happened to Joe? Oh, Joe folded. My bad. I thought Joe called. I thought I saw him throwing chips there. It looked like you folded, so now we're just heads up.
Queen on the turn.
Didn't Joe call there?
I thought so. The river is an 8.
Safe run out for Ron.
So Ron flops the flush against a set from Cole.
Cole's trap there backfires in the worst way. He raises with his jacks. That's going to do it for Ron.
Yeah, Ron can't call a raise.
That's going to do it for Ron. Ron's not going to be calling there. Very ambitious call with 8-3. Then he was just getting such a great price after everybody was flatting 60. Has a little gamble in him for sure. And then binks that flop there. So would have liked to seen Cole squeeze there. And Ron would have been out of the way. And Cole could have potentially won a big one there, even though that board ran out, flopped all spades. But instead, smooth calls to 60. Ron with the miracle flop and gets the double that he definitely needed. Pretty brutal run out there for Cole. Welcome to the game, and the 9 seed, the death of the 9 seed continues.
And I think that's right. I think we saw that we saw the bet from the 8 seed. Joe, he made the initial bet and it was raised. So we did see him put chips in, and then he didn't call the raise.
Yeah.
So Joe did
I guess
have
Joe
money
just
in.
put his chips in a little late after it snapped around. A little confusing, but still. That 9 seed is cursed this evening. Pretty brutal. And Cole, a little steamy. We got a little bit of a steamer. We got a little steamy.
Cole
Ships it in on Jakey Boy here. Says, enough of this. I'm going to get my money back from that flop. Now, Justice says, let's dance. Justice says the stream is almost over. I got to make my way back home, but I might as well go home with a little extra money. And Jake juiced it up to 75, so we're not 100% sure what everyone's holding right now. We will definitely see it from 2 players. But our boy Jake, Kristen, close your eyes, has a decision basically for his whole stack here. So pretty gross hand here pre. Cole probably doing what he should have done last hand. It doesn't look like Jake doesn't look like he wants to fold.
He's going to make the... No,
He's
going to fold. He's going to fold.
He takes back his 75, says, I want to keep these green chips. I'll give you the red and ship it in. And Justice shows ace something. And Cole shows 8-4 off. So ace 10 versus 8-4 off. We did have a bit of a steamer.
We're going to have to ask Jake what he folded.
I'm sure he had 8 high B. Cole wanted to make a move, making a move for the fans. Hits the 8 there, so Justice just brutal. Hoping for an ace or a 10, maybe even a 9 for a straight. Has outs, 2 of spades, not one of them. But Cole says, I don't care what you guys have. Take this. And then, boom, wow. Justice, have a nice ride home. Thanks for playing.
Let's see from the reaction from Jake, if we pan out, if he would have won that hand. He's saying over to Joe.
I'm sure he had it beat. He did. Looks like he did have it beat. Getting a little consolation rub down from Joe. Somebody's got to get Joe a job as a masseuse here at the lodge. But sorry, Jake. If you want to be in it, you got to put the money in. And Cole says, welcome to the stream, boys. I know I'm a little late, but here I am, and let's do it. Jaywin and E must be loving this. They're going to be back for games like this. I'm sure they will. And if you're watching in the chat here for the first time and you think you can beat 8 high or some of the moves that we've seen tonight, shoot me an email. Get in the mix. You should fear the 8 high. The 8 high is scary when you're facing a $1,000 bet. skullmikepoker@gmail.com. Come on down to the lodge. Get in this game. New players get priority. So hit me up.
Absolutely. Just make sure you show up. If you reserve a space, try to show up and don't call the same day of. We realize things come up. I mean, family and emergencies come up, but it really hurts us if we reserve a spot for you and you call in the day of and say you can't make it. Because we're telling people no, we're turning people away. Wow. So that's all we ask.
What a chime in here in the chat by Nemo. The 84 Randy Moss straight cash homie. That is completely accurate. And I am going to steal that if I see any more future shows with 8-4 off. I will give you credit, Nemo. But I don't think we'll be seeing many more 8-4 off shoves like that. But straight cash homie. Ching ching. It's like a Dante Culpepper Hail Mary. And he gets there. Thanks for the shout out, Dima G. We appreciate that. I don't know, I haven't seen you in the chat, but we're here for you. So we're gonna keep doing this every Saturday. So if you like what you see,
really appreciate
come on back to us, like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. We'll be back next week for a $1,000 buy-in, winner take all, sit and go turbo tournament. So our 5-5 game is going to take a break for a week. We're going to have a little special show next Saturday with some great players. So the quality will be high and the stakes will be high.
So this is going to be a chop. Both players with the same hand. There are no flushes out there. So as long as both players stay in.
And there's nothing really in. Well, there is a lot in the pot, actually. The pot's a little bit off to 15.
Looks like we've got a blanket of some sort over Jake's right shoulder. I don't know what kind of garb that is, whether that's Peruvian or some South American garb.
Nice hand there, but we're not really sure what Jake was holding. Graphics a little off on that hand. The pot was a little bit off, but our attention was a little bit off. We were a little distracted there by that could have been Peruvian. That could have been a great call.
I think it was.
Great call. The greenery is high.
We've got about 7 more minutes, 10 more minutes of the live stream. Want to thank everybody once again, and really thanks a lot for the nice comment from Dima G. And what state is the lodge in? It's in Austin, Texas. Actually, Round Rock, Texas, which is just north of Austin. So the capital, the 11th largest city in the United States, Austin, Texas. If you ever get here, it's very easily located right on the major highway, Interstate I-35, and we'd love to have you. Matter of fact, if you come, Damien, you ever come to Texas, your first hour is on us. Just tell them that Poker Night at the Lodge, Rick Epstein said Damien can have his first hour free. I'll cover it for you. How's that, Damien?
Wow, the red carpet for our boy Damien. That's what you get here when you follow along on this great poker show. Episode 23. We're doing this every Saturday. Live poker, lots of action, lots of money, swapping seats.
And Cole just came in the game firing, and he's just tossing chips like they're coasters.
Cole coming in with a bang, coming in hot, looking to spray that nice tournament winnings that he had this afternoon, but instead gets rewarded for that large stack of what? Of you know what. The bravery is rewarded with the 8-4. But we got a nice hand here brewing. Justice with Big Slick.
Justice just rebought for a bunch of chips, and he's going to put them to use.
And Cole on the button with ace-10 of diamonds, and you saw what he did with ace-4 off. So if he wants to put the heat on Justice and say, let's play for it all, he very well might elect to do so. But the action's on J-Win with the suited 10-9 of clubs.
J-Win's not going to want to get involved in this.
He's stuck in the middle, especially what he's just seen what Cole is capable of.
Yeah.
So he's going to say 10-9, not today. And Cole, the man with eyes of the one looking up the stack of Justice, is he be a believer? He knows he's crushed by ace-jack plus, aces, kings, queens. Really up against it. He'd much rather probably prefer to have that 8-4 Randy Moss straight cash homie type of hand. At least he knows his 8 and 4 is possibly live, but he doesn't look to be folding. He might just elect to flat and see what the flop brings.
He says it's much easier to go all in with the Randy Moss hand than it is with a decent hand of ace-10 suited.
100%. But he's going to just smooth call this here, hope to hit diamonds here, knows he's behind.
Knows that the money's probably going in.
Cole is one for gamble. We've seen Justice not shove on the flop after he missed, and I thought that was an improper play earlier on in the stream in our first hour.
See if he does it again.
Misses again here. You know if he doesn't do it, Cole will do it for him. So will Tony's still in this hand. He checks over action on Justice. We're three-way here. Everybody whiffs. So much whiffing going on here. It's like the wiffle ball championships of the world. But this is the lodge in Texas. This is table 11. The action is on Justice. Does he want to shove his whole stack with ace high? It will probably get through if he does, or he's going to wave the white flag and have the pressure applied by Big Tony and Cole. Decisions as we rotate our tip chips.
Michael B., thanks for the nice comment. River King, you too. Those comments go a long way.
76 in the chat. We are ending on fire tonight. We'll be here next Saturday if you're tuning in for that 1K. Every Saturday night, like and subscribe to the channel. The action is on the 3 seat with just ace high, Big Slick. Very aggressive pre. Will he fire, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, kids at home? Maybe if you got your puppies and your cats, they're welcome to watch the show too.
Does he want to give this give the aggression away?
He's taking a long time here. It's pretty suspicious after you take this long. A little double check. Maybe working on a little acting career here. I know we tried to call our boy DiCaprio and Scorsese last week, but that's when they had the goods. Our boy Sammy has the goods, and he checks it over. And Cole insta-rips. The insta-rip like you knew it was coming.
Cole.
You knew it was coming.
Cole sees the hesitation.
You knew it was coming, folks. If Justice wasn't the one doing it, it was coming from Cole. And Cole, even with Tony still to act. So, really, the ball's on Cole tonight. Wild. Cole not scared of nothing. Coming in hot with all the heat, all the squirm possible. But our boy Justice hasn't folded yet. I thought he would have folded, but he showed the cards to his partners. not his partners, his opponents on the side. And
He's
now
gonna
he
toss
falls.
it in.
Now you got to show it, Cole. You got to show the ace-10, and he does. Boom. Oh, God. So brutal. Brutal for Justice. Brutal. Absolute perfect play there by Cole. Not afraid of nothing. Cole coming in hot. Cole, and if you like the way Cole is playing, he is in our 1K next week. And this is tournament poker next week, so it's going to be different types of strategy, different types of stuff going on. But what a way to end it. Was that our last hand of the night? We got a couple more hands on the stream here.
Adam with the comment, no justice, no peace.
God.
That's harsh. Kazim says love it.
Wow, we are mixing it up tonight. We've had all types of hands. So the highlight reel that our boy Dave, the super producer here, Dave Klaproth, doing a great job with the cameras and inputting the numbers. He's going to have a nice little highlight reel to work on this week with bluffs, all-ins, lucky catches on the river. Stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe to the channel.
Jay Wynn is going to raise it up, makes it 65. Jake will fold his ace-3. Around the table it goes. Ron will make the call. It's $90 is the bet. Over to Big Tony. Big Tony is going to call. It is 4-7 of diamonds. Here comes Justice with the Queen 10 and E with pocket sixes. He's going to say, I'm going to come along.
100%, getting a good price to set mine here. It's been rather quiet lately, but been pretty card dead as well.
5 players to the flop. 3-10 king, 2 hearts. As Justice flop middle pair, and he's way in the lead.
But I don't think he thinks he's in the lead. But he might just be a little fed up, a little steamed up after being shown the bluff by Cole.
Check all the way around. There's another queen. So now Justice with 2 pair. He's got to feel a lot better.
This one's definitely going in now. He says, I am not waiting any longer. Fires in a little 100 for value. I think a full all-in shove there would look mighty strong.
Jay Wynn says, I can hit a jack and win this pot.
Still a lot out there, a lot of players behind. Going 100 for value, trying to recoup some of those losses from the last hand. Our boy Justice in seat 3. Action on Jay Wynn folds. Ron folds, Tony folds, and Justice
There you go.
gets his little pre-flop raise back on that next hand. Shows the queen.
I'd like to see that. Justice taking down a pot. Cumulative winnings, Jay Wynn. Big winner tonight, 3,500. Big Tony, 2,500. And that'll do it for tonight's action. Mike, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for being the co-host once again. Your analysis is spot on. I want to thank everybody involved. Joe S., Dave Klaproth. We got a bonus hand before we sign off for the night.
Yeah, bonus hand. So last hand of the night, I'm going to say goodnight for the evening. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we've had our record showing tonight in the chat and viewership. So we appreciate everybody watching. Tune in next week and every Saturday. Next Saturday, the 1K winner take all. So that's going to do it for me. I'll let Rick take it from here. And I'll see you next week on Poker Night at the Lodge.
Yeah, we'll see this last hand together as some of our fans say they can hear Turtle in the background. That's funny, because Turtle left 3 hours ago. No, I'm just kidding. He's probably still here. And Justice will make the call here as he just picked up a good pot. Over to E with 6-7 of hearts. I like that little suited connector. This is kind of a bonus hand before we sign off. Big raise from E. Makes it, looks like it's 260. 2 black chips out there. Back over to Justice.
So it looks like I'm a liar, everybody here. This is the last hand of the night here. I already said my goodbyes, but it's getting juicy. And I I had to pop back in here and see what happens here. Our boy Justice.
Adam says he'll be making his live debut next week.
Yep,
Can't wait.
He's in that 1K, and the lineup is fierce.
Justice folds. And we'll go heads up between Joe with King Queen and E with 6-7 suited. Flop comes ace 7-6, two pair.
Two pair, but not much for Joe.
Yeah, Joe can't really call this.
See, unless Joe wants to get out of line and try and rep an ace, which could be possible here if E checks to try and slow play this and induce Joe to bet. And that's what he does. So action's going to be on Joe. Does Joe want to rep an ace? Fire in a bet along the lines of maybe 300, and he does.
Makes it a little bit more
A
than that.
little bit more than 300.
500. Over pot size bet.
Just what E wanted to see. And he's thinking, do I raise now or do I raise later? And elects to raise later.
Yeah, yummy, he says.
Or maybe just call, we'll see.
Oh, that's going to keep Joe in now.
Joe picking up a card here I'd like to see this go, he's probably going to check this. I'd like to see Joe check behind now that he picked up that queen. But he might try and tell that story still of an ace. You see E giving him a little glare, sizing him up, goes check, check. So nice check behind there by Joe. E will be checking no longer, I imagine. Even though that board is pretty gross run out, there's a lot of larger, two pair opportunities, queen, jack, ace, queen, ace, 6, ace, 7. So
You think he's going to? I don't think he's going to
he
bet.
checked.
He checked.
He checked.
Yeah.
So it's a good check there by E.
Quick call.
600.
600.
He gets called. So he was satisfied there to go check, check there, but induces a bet there out of Joe. And that's going to do it.
Nice pot. We want to thank everybody. We'll see you next week on Poker Night at the Lodge.
Straddle, 10.